Sports presents NCAA College Football. This afternoon, live from Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, the Aggies of Texas A&M against the Mustangs of SMU. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Lowenbrau. When you want the taste of a truly great beer, there's really only one. Tonight, let it be Lowenbrau. And by Chevrolet, at your Chevy dealer with Chevette, Monza, Citation, and the new Monte Carlo. Chevy's up ahead for 1981. And by IBM, helping put information to work for people. It's a lovely day in North Texas this first weekend in October. The Aggies of Texas A&M against the Mustangs of SMU. We come to you live from Texas Stadium this afternoon. Temperature around 75 degrees. Very few clouds overhead. The crowd expected to reach 40,000 by the time kickoff begins. Obviously a late arriving crowd here, but enthusiasm generated for particularly the SMU Mustangs because of their big win last week when they upset the Texas Longhorns down in Austin, 20-6, their first victory there since 1966. SMU comes into this game a decided favorite tonight. Peruna, the mascot, getting ready to do her victory dance around the field if the Mustangs do score. She's a Shetland pony again and has been the mascot of this team for years and years and years. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Vern Lundquist, working again this week with pleasure with the former University of Texas athletic director and head football coach Darrell Royal. I'll get this right yet, Coach.
Well, you know,
only 20 years, and I can't remember what you did. We've got an interesting contrast in these two teams this week. Texas A&M losers to Rice last week. Their record is 2-5. SMU, a big win over Texas, 5-2. There must have been contrasting styles in their preparation, don't you think?
Well, I think Tom Wilson and Ron Myers have totally different problems preparing their team for this particular contest. Tom Wilson has got to keep his guys encouraged. He's got to find some way to keep that fight going, keep that effort going, to keep faith, keep some kind of confidence. I'm sure he's talked to each one of these players individually and said, hey, you're fighting for yourself. You know yourself whether you're giving everything you have. You're your own competitor. You're not playing for the team. You're playing for your own self-respect. And then he brings the team together and he talks to them. He says, now, if each one of you play as an individual with all-out effort, team effort takes care of itself. We're not going to quit. We are Aggies and we're going to fight. Now, I'm sure that Ron Meyer has a totally different problem. I talked to him just before the ball game down on the field, and he said, you know, we've had a hard time trying to get their heads back in the ball game with Texas A&M after that big victory over Texas. Well, certainly, they're elated, they're high, but you can't celebrate all week long because they have a formidable foe in Texas A&M. So he's trying to tone them down. Tom Wilson is trying to lift them up.
It's worth a look back to see that victory, SMU over Texas. As I said at the outset, first time that the Ponies had defeated Texas since 1966, a 14-year hiatus. A crowd of 70,000 gathered a week ago today down in Austin. Better than 70,000, as a matter of fact. Both bands there. Peruna made the trip down from Dallas, 200 miles south to Austin. And Lance McElhenney, the young 19-year-old freshman quarterback, starting his first game. That decision made just prior to the Texas game. And the Longhorn band there as well. We pick it up in the third quarter with Texas leading 6-3. McElhenney on the pitch back to sophomore running back Craig James from Houston. He uses his 4.5 speed in the 40 to sprint down the right sideline. 53 yards untouched for the touchdown that put SMU on top 10-6. They later went up to a 13-6 lead on an Eddie Garcia field goal. And here's the key play, the backbreaker as far as Texas was concerned. It came early in the fourth quarter. Donnie Little back to pass. The pass is picked off by safety James Mobley. He has an escort as he runs untouched into the end zone. And a 14-year drought ends for the SMU Mustangs as they win that game before those 70,000 Longhorn supporters down in Austin. Jubilation on the sideline, as you can imagine. The kind of a win, perhaps, that can serve to turn a program around. And that is indeed what Ron Meyer is hoping he will accomplish. We'll know more about that this afternoon if they're able to come back. Here come the Aggies, their head coach Tom Wilson. They are 2-5 for the year. They started off the season with a victory at Ole Miss. Mike Mosley, who is no longer the starting quarterback, had a big game in that one. Then they lost back-to-back games, came back for a big win over Texas Tech, 41-21. But they got bumped by Houston, lost in a rout to Baylor, and then were upset by Rice last week 10-6. It is a program with problems right now, and Tom Wilson trying desperately to regroup his young men. 36 of the top 44 players for Texas A&M are either sophomores or freshmen. It's a very young football team, and he is trying to turn this thing around. You heard Coach Royal address himself to that a few moments ago. In contrast, of course, SMU had favored to win this afternoon and go 6-2 for the day. And I think back, Darrell, to a game that you had in your first or second year. I remember so vividly when you beat Oklahoma for the first time. 15-14, if I recall, and that really kind of set things off for you, didn't it?
I can tell you exactly what year it was. It was the second year. But it did. It got our program going. It gave us confidence that we didn't have before. We'd kind of lost our confidence when we were playing a major opponent, and that restored a lot of confidence. It meant a tremendous amount getting us into a winning program later on.
Well, here come the youngsters who accomplished that victory last week. The Mustangs of SMU. Ron Meyer, the head coach. They haven't won 6 games in a year since he took over here 5 years ago, but they have improved the program each and every year. He's had a couple of good recruiting seasons. He's got a lot of strong juniors and sophomores in the lineup now. They won their first 4 of the year and defeated Tulane, but then they had a 21-0 lead against Baylor. Baylor came back to win at 32-28, but the Mustangs had the ball on the 8-yard line on 4th down with 8 seconds to go, and a fumble snap, and they couldn't do it. They then lost to Houston here on regional television 2 weeks ago, but the big victory last week. John Simmons, their cornerback, Darrell, I guess is probably the best football player we're going to see this afternoon.
He's an all-around football player. He's on the field a lot. He is averaging 92 plays a game because he plays on the specialty teams as well as playing on defense. Here's a great look at his running ability. He's returning a punt against Tulane for 82 yards and a touchdown. He is extremely, extremely busy. He's versatile. He tackles, he intercepts, he back punts, and he blocks field goals. You know, Merle Haggard said it in a song, and to paraphrase it, steal a little bit from Merle, it says, "Hey, hey, working man, a working man like me. I don't go to the bench because that's one place I won't be because I'll keep on working. Long as these 2 hands are fit to use. Play a little football on Saturday. Sing a little bit of the working man blues." And here he is working, blocking a field goal. You can see him coming in from the side. Number 34, John Simmons.
John Simmons will be all over the field on kicking teams as well as on defense. I understand he'd like to do even more.
Yeah, he's bored. He wants to play offense now.
He's not the only player they've got. The freshman quarterback who quarterbacked the big victory last year grew up right here in Dallas in Highland Park, Lance McElhenney.
You know, it's fantastic that a guy could come in under that pressure as a freshman. He was only playing high school football a few months ago, and he comes in and he plays an error-free game. He didn't do all that much except lateral the ball off a few times, but he handled the ball expertly and didn't leave it laying on the ground, and that's extremely hard for a freshman to do.
We'll be looking at Lance McElhenney as well as Gary Kubiak, the A&M quarterback. It's also near to kickoff. A lovely day here in November in Texas Stadium. We'll be right back. Texas A&M has owned this series, 32 wins, 24 wins for SMU. The last meeting a year ago, we regionally televised that one for you, 47-14 down in College Station. Close ball game in the first half, but the Aggies broke it open. They will receive to begin the ball game. Billy Cannon is one of the deep men, and Bernice Simon, number 28. Cannon wearing number 22. Eddie Garcia will kick off for the Ponies of Southern Methodist University. Vern Lundquist and Darrell Royal, good to have you with us. Here's the kick by Garcia. It'll be Billy Cannon Jr. 9 yards back, and the Aggies will take over first down 10 at their own 20-yard line. Offensive line, Tommy Thompson, a junior college transfer at left tackle, wears number 69. Kevin Kennedy, offensive guard from Conroe. The center is David Bandy, who grew up in Austin, Texas. The right guard, Tommy Robeson that should be, from Portland, Texas. Zach Guthrie, one of the captains, is the right end, and Pat Flynn, the tight end. First down and 10, Texas A&M. They go left to right here in the first quarter of play. Mike Whitwell breaks wide to the right side. I formation in the backfield behind sophomore Gary Kubiak from Houston St. Pius High School. In the eye, the handoff goes on the left side. It's Johnny Hector, sophomore running back, with a gain of 7 out to the 27-yard line. Whitwell, the starting split end from Cotulla, Texas. Billy Cannon Jr., the flanker from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. David Hill, the fullback from San Antonio. Johnny Hector, who just carried the ball, the tailback from New Iberia, Louisiana. And the sophomore quarterback, Gary Kubiak, from Houston St. Pius High School. Second down, 8. And Kubiak leads him up. They will operate out of the eye most of the day. Option play, Kubiak to throw, flag is down. He's got room to run. Cuts upfield, first down if the play stands up at the 32-yard line. But check the infraction as Michael Carter and Eric Ferguson make the stop.
It's going to be a 5-yarder against the Aggies. Holding.
So wipe out the first down. By the way, we do have our referee Mike this afternoon. Ken Faulkner is the referee. The umpire is Marvin Durenberger. Bob Jones, line judge, Mike Wetzel, Don Ponder, and Dwayne Gandy round out the officiating crew. There's Mike Whitwell. And we'll step off the 5 yards and get the call from Ken Faulkner.
Illegal use of hands, offense, second down.
That's a new rule, isn't it, Darrell? The 5-yard
yes,
holding?
There's a 5-yard holding penalty when they have their hands extended if they're not straight in front of the defensive lineman that's rushing in.
It'll be second down once again. Second down and 7. In the eye. Whitwell wide to the left side. Kubiak hands it off to Hector. He breaks into the secondary, and he's got the first down this time at the 31-yard line. Johnny Hector, 5'11", 189, a sophomore from New Iberia, Louisiana. Tackles made by Byron Hunt and Clarence Bennett. It'll be first down and 10. Hector for the season, 456 yards, a fine 5.1 yards per carry average, but they have kept him out of the end zone. Only one touchdown. First and 10, or third and 1. They did not. They ruled him down just short of the 30. Third and 1. Kubiak on the sneak. He's got the first and 10. Drive will be sustained. Jared Moore comes in at a linebacker spot, and he made the tackle. There's a look at Gary Kubiak. He replaced Mike Mosley earlier this year. I'll tell you off the bat that Mike Mosley, who's a senior starting quarterback at the beginning of the year, did not make the trip. He and his teammate Tim Ward missed bed check night before last, and so Tom Wilson kept them back at College Station. They are not here. Mosley now playing defense. First down and 10. Texas A&M at the 33-yard line. Hand off to Hector left side. He squirts through for another fine gain of 6 yards as Byron Hunt and Michael Carter make the tackle. It's a 5-2 SMU defense as you look at it. Number 99 is Eric Ferguson. 36, Clarence Bennett. 75 is Harvey Armstrong, an outstanding defensive tackle. And John Simmons, number 34, the man we highlighted in the pregame show. He comes to the left side. Second down and 3. 12:40 to go, first quarter. This time David Hill gets the handoff. He's got another Texas A&M first down at the 45-yard line.
Boy, they're jumping off that line of scrimmage. Looks like Tom Wilson has done an excellent job getting them to come back and starting this ball game enthusiastically. It's going to be interesting to see if they keep this pace all day. If they do, it's going to be a whale of a ball game. You know, it takes a lot of courage for Tom Wilson to leave outstanding talent at home, but when you've got a 12 o'clock boy and a 9 o'clock program, somebody's got to be the boss.
First down and 10. Texas A&M operating at their own 45-yard line. Again, in the eye. Long count. Here comes Eric Ferguson. He got Johnny Hector, and Hector is knocked down with a 2-yard gain. It was Ferguson, number 99, coming from the left side. Set that SMU defense for you. Up front on the right side, Byron Hunt, David Marshall, Michael Carter, Harvey Armstrong, and Eric Ferguson. The linebackers right now are Jared Moore and Clarence Bennett. The cornerbacks, John Simmons and Dick Blaylock. And the safeties, Wes Hopkins and James Mobley. Second down and 9. Kubiak on the option coming to the right side. He'll be driven down short of the 50-yard line at the 49. It'll be third down and long. David Marshall, Michael Carter. There's Tom Wilson, 36-year-old head coach at Texas A&M. And his job, quite frankly and candidly, has been the subject of speculation in the past couple of weeks, particularly with the huge loss to Baylor and the loss to Rice. And Tom, very outspoken about it, says he would like to get the support of all the alumni and give him a chance to run his program. Third down, Kubiak to throw, flags all over the place. Goes across the middle, it's caught at at the 40-yard line. If the play stands, it'll be a first down as Wes Hopkins makes the tackle on Pat Flynn, the tight end.
That's the thing that plagued them in the Rice ball game. They had enough statistics. They moved the ball well enough, but they had nagging penalties, and they just little-thinged themselves to death. They had a penalty here and the delay of the game there, and their own mistakes was the thing that was killing them. If they really put this talent together, I think they'll have a chance of having an outstanding football team.
Coach, these are Tom Wilson's recruits that are playing for him now, too. I mean, the sophomores and freshmen.
He has a bunch of young guys on there that are going to be outstanding football players in the next few years.
Illegal motion wipes out the first down pass to the tight end, Pat Flynn. It'll be third down at 11. There's Ron Meyer, 39-year-old head coach in his 5th year here at SMU. He's a lively one. Third down, 11. Mobley comes up threatening the safety blitz, but now he drops back off the line. Now he's up again, and here it comes. Kubiak goes the other direction, though, and big David Marshall, the senior from Monroe, Ohio, made the tackle. Number 79. So fourth down, and A&M will have to punt. There's another look at Ron Meyer. Been an exciting week for him this week, having accomplished that big victory last week. He has never defeated Texas A&M, though, Coach.
Well, he hasn't been here all that long, and it takes a while to get his program going, you know.
John Simmons will return Kyle Stewart's punt. He is back to the 7, and he's going to stop at the 8. Good downfield coverage by the Yankees. A 47-yard punt. One on the return for John Simmons. It was in the air for 4.2. Barry, the linebacker, made the tackle. Timeout on the field. Ponies have the ball. We'll be right back. They've got it inside the 10. Darrell, perhaps a mistake by John Simmons.
Well, I thought John should not have fielded the football. I know we always coached him to never touch a ball inside the 10-yard line because chances are it'll hit and roll into the end zone and be brought back out to the 20.
First down 10, the ball at the 9-yard line. SMU touching it for the first time. No score, 10:05 to go first quarter. In the eye, Lance McElhenney pitches back to Craig James. He's got a blocker in front, gets across the 10, is cut down at the 12. It'll be a gain of 3 for Craig James. Keith Baldwin made the tackle. Here's the offensive line for SMU. Mike Jusko, Robert Barnes. The center is Lance Peterson. The right guard, Mike Mason. The right tackle, Lee Spivey. And the tight end, Clement Fox from Shreveport, Louisiana. Second down and 7, SMU. Ball at the 12-yard line. 2 wide receivers go wide to the right side. Tight end is tight left. 1 running back and a wingman at the right side. Here's McElhenney to throw from his own 10. Pops it out over the head of his running back, Craig James. Incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd and 7. Gary Smith at 1 wide receiver. Anthony Smith, yes, they're brothers. The other wide receiver, Charles Drayton, the fullback. The tailback is Craig James, a sophomore, and Lance McElhenney is the quarterback. 3rd and 7. Coach?
That tells you that Ron Myers has a lot of confidence in McElhenney if he's going to let him throw behind his own 10-yard line.
You trying to tell me you wouldn't have done it? 3rd down and 7. Into the flat for James. Gets a block from Drayton. 15, 20, first down, 25, 27-yard line. Jeff Farrar makes the tackle. It's a 15-yard gain. Craig James got a tremendous block from his fullback, Charles Drayton.
That's the reason Coach Ron Myers was selected as UPI Coach of the Year nationally, Coach of the Week last week for his victory.
We'll look at it again, Coach.
He has a lot of courage. Well, this was a kind of a safe little pass. It was a forward pass and a little semi-running screen out there. Picked up a good block, kicked the corner man out, and James turned on that excellent speed that he has.
And we get a look at our first look this afternoon of Eric Dickerson, the fellow sophomore. Dickerson, number 19, has the handoff. Look at him rumble 42-yard line before he's caught and dropped.
Boy, he runs crooked.
He'll wiggle on you, won't he?
He looked like a knuckleball coming through there. No, boy's got a lot of size on him, too. Gee whiz.
Well, he's 6'3", and they list him at 204 now, and he's got 9.4 speed in the 100. Perhaps the most widely recruited running back in Texas and indeed in America a couple of years ago. Eric Dickerson, number 19. First down and 10. 43-yard line is where the ball has been spotted. Here comes the blitz from the left side. Greg Williams. There's a fumble. The Aggies have recovered at the SMU 45. Jerry Bullitt, number 33, the linebacker, just a freshman, picked off the fumble.
Number 19, Williams, came in from the cornerback position. At the very last moment, he ran up and got on the line of scrimmage, came in, knocked him loose from the ball. You can see him coming on from the left of your screen, and he came in, bam, right there it is. It's on the ground for grabs. The Aggies have great field position.
First down 10. They've got the ball at the SMU 45. There's a look at the youngster who recovered it, Jerry Bullitt. He's a freshman. First down and 10. He's playing in place of Doug Carr, another of the captains who was out with an injury. He went out last week. Here's Kubiak throwing deep. Going into double coverage for Mike Whitwell, and it's overthrown. Dick Blaylock and James Mobley both down there. Good defensive coverage by the secondary.
They call that kid S.A. Bones, which means skin and bones, and I guess it's from running those deep routes. That'll take that excess fat off of you. That was a long one.
Uh-oh. Well, folks, we don't have a camera on him, but the coach just winced. 17-0, Texas trailing Texas Tech. Second down and 10. Safety blitz is threatened by SMU again. Now Mobley drops off. Kubiak on the draw play goes to the left side of Johnny Hector, and he wiggles for 5 down inside the 40 to the 39. I'm just wondering, do you think that the Longhorns, given that 17-0 score, might still be suffering an emotional hangover from last week?
Well, I'm sure they're suffering an emotional hangover. You know, I've been reading the paper all week, said, well, the Longhorns will be mad. I'd rather have them elated and happy about winning the ball game as I would mad about losing one. It's always easier to prepare. You have better work during the week if you're coming off of a victory.
Third down, 6 at the SMU 40 for the Aggies. We're scoreless in the first quarter with 8:09 to go. I formation for Kubiak. A little bit of a problem on the handoff. He comes left. He's caught and dropped by Harvey Armstrong. Take a look at that big guy. He's a 6'2", 260-pound junior from Houston, Kashmir. Second team All Southwest Conference a year ago. He's a dandy.
Well, there wasn't much of a mesh there, so I don't think they tried to make a mesh because the fullback came in, tried to get a piece of Armstrong. He wasn't successful.
There's the kick blocked, and it's almost picked up, now recovered by, well, the ball is still free at the 22, finally picked up by Byron Hunt. Byron Hunt, a senior linebacker, has gone in for the score. Boy, does it happen quick. That is the 7th punt that A&M has had blocked this year. They came in having had 6. Hunt blocked it, then picked it up after the scramble and went in to score. Kyle Stewart, the punter, had the kick blocked on him.
That's one big break covering up the bad one. You know, they lost that fumble there, and A&M had great field position. That really changes the situation in a hurry. A great play by Hunt.
Byron Hunt, who twice in previous games has been selected as the outstanding player of the game for SMU. Both times against A&M, as a matter of fact, and I did both games. Off to a great start this afternoon. Here's Eddie Garcia. The kick is up, and it is good. Garcia, perfect for the year, keeps the string alive. Byron Hunt with the blocked punt of Kyle Stewart. Picks it up on the 20, goes in for the touchdown. SMU leads at 7-0. Back with a kickoff right after this. SMU with an early lead. The return of the block kick by the man who blocked it, Byron Hunt. He's got a brother who plays for the New England Patriots, Sam Hunt.
Strange that he said Sam Hunt's his favorite football player.
Yes, isn't it? Little sibling love there instead of rivalry.
I like that family loyalty anyway.
Well, his cousin Tweety Hunt was a nose guard here at SMU for 4 years. Just graduated last year. There's Eddie Garcia. He's a Dallas youngster. And Billy Cannon and Bernice Simon are deep. Here's the kick. Oh, check this one. 5 yards back, and Cannon will drop to one knee. Aggies will take it at the 20-yard line. At what point, Coach, do you advise your kids to run it out of the end zone? Is there a cutoff point?
Not when it's kicked that high. It wasn't kicked too long, but the ball hung in the air too long. He was very wise. You can see the upback signaling him, kept him in there. He did not let him come out of that end zone, and that was wise.
It is a lovely afternoon in Irving, Texas, here at Texas Stadium. Temperature about 70 degrees. And SMU leading 7-0. Here's Gary Kubiak, sophomore. Had a great high school career at Houston St. Pius. Motion now from Billy Cannon. Option play to the left side, and Kubiak will keep it. He'll pick up 2 yards. Harvey Armstrong, number 75, makes the tackle defensively. This is a defense for SMU that has matured. Many of these guys have played together for 2 or 3 years now. That helps.
You know, the big difference the first 4 years that Ron Myers was here, he was playing a lot of sophomores and a lot of freshmen. Now he has nothing but upperclassmen on his team. The Aggies are just the reverse of that.
Second down, 8. I formation, David Hill, the short man in the I, and Johnny Hector, the deep back. Counter lead option, Kubiak to throw into the flat and overthrows Pat Flynn, his tight end. Incomplete, third down. And Flynn was open. He got behind Wes Hopkins, free safety, number 46. There's Ronnie Meyer. I know you've always been an admirer of him, too.
We get along real well. I like his spunk. He's pretty feisty, you know, but he's pleasingly feisty. I like his aggressiveness.
Well, I'll tell you what he told me one time. You're his idol.
Maybe that's the reason I like him.
Third down and 8. Kubiak to throw. Blitz is on. He gets good protection across the middle, incomplete. Intended for the third time today to his tight end, Pat Flynn, who's only caught 4 for the year. But it'll be fourth down, and A&M will come on to punt.
Hopkins almost had that one picked off. Had it not been a low throw, I believe he'd have had it.
Kyle Stewart will try it again. There's John Simmons deep. You saw in our pregame show his 82-yard punt return against Tulane. He has just had a superb year. There's Kyle Stewart. See where the pressure's coming from. This time he gets the kick away. Not a bad one at all. Simmons waits for it at the 35. Has it. Watch it go. At the 50. At the 45. Cuts left. Got a block. One more. He's gone. This will be a 65-yard kickoff return. John Simmons has done it again. Look at him. No emotion, Coach. Very quiet youngster.
Hey, hey, working man. Working man like me.
Take a look at it, Coach.
You know, they are making the kicking game really win for them, and you can do that. They set up a good wall, but this is a magnificent run by Simmons. I don't blame him for wanting to play offense. That guy really is an all-around worker. I love to see a guy like that play. He loves to play, too.
And he was recruited, believe it or not, by only one other school. The extra point was good, and SMU has gone on top by a 14-0 run. Northeast Louisiana was the only other school that took a look at that Arkansas youngster. He came to SMU, and he's going to be an All-American. 14-0, Ponies lead. We'll be right back. John Simmons, Darrell, take one more look at it.
Well, he had a good cushion when he fielded the ball. He picked up a good block there, 25 kicking a man out, and then he just ripped through an arm tackle. Thought he was going to fall down right there. But he kept his footing, which proves the agility that he has. Now he turns on some of that good speed.
The key blocks, number 25, Dick Blaylock, and then downfield, number 33, Gary Moten. They got him the clearing blocks, and John Simmons, he's having the kind of a season that little kids dream about.
You know, this is just exactly what, of course, Coach Wilson or any other coach would hope would not happen, that a team that's already down and have the thing turn so quickly in the kicking game against you, and it's going to be a real test now to see if they'll stay in there and battle.
Here's Garcia. Again, it'll be into the end zone. Billy Cannon with an over-the-head catch, and it'll come out to the 20. So Garcia is 3 for 3 in keeping the ball out of play. There's Eddie Garcia, junior from Dallas. Offensive plays so far, A&M 14-4, and the score is 14-0 the other way around. Shows you what the kicking game can do.
Well, a kicking game occupies, as everybody knows, about 1/4 of the game, and you've got to play it and got to play it well. Obviously, SMU is well schooled in that area because they've been blocking kicks and returned them all year.
First down 10. Texas A&M 15th play of the first quarter, but they trail by 14 points. Handoff goes to David Hill, and he picks up about 3 yards out to the 23. Hill started out his career at the Air Force Academy. Spent 1 year there, and then transferred. He was a starter as a freshman, and then transferred, sat out a year, and is now a junior at Texas A&M out of San Antonio Holmes. His high school coach, Frankie Arnold, was a college classmate of mine at Texas Lutheran in Seguin 4 years ago than I care to remember. Second down and 8. High formation again. Here comes the blitz. Handoff goes to Johnny Hector, and he's banged down at the 24-yard line. Picked up 1. Blaine Smith coming on the blitz that time. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Billy Cannon comes wide right. Mike Whitwell goes wide left. Well, Whitwell's out of there now. 3rd and 7. And Kubiak to throw. He's 0 for 3. Screen pass. Flips it out. Overthrown to David Hill. Incomplete. And he did have 2 blockers in front. It'll be 4th down. So Gary Kubiak had gone 3 times to his tight end. This time overthrows his fullback. And Kyle Stewart comes on to punt. We're going to see the John Simmons show again.
Well, you got to be really nervous if you're an Aggie right at this point because they blocked one and returned one.
There's John Simmons. He is such a quiet kid. Good-looking man. But just doesn't have much to say. Just goes out and plays every day. And does the dazzling. Here's the kick to Simmons. This one will bounce and will not be returned. They tried to keep it away from him. And look at the roll it gets all the way to the 22. Well, we'll update you on a couple of scores. Second quarter, Texas Tech 24, Texas 14. They're coming back. And Baylor over San Jose State 15-7. Coming up Monday night, Chicago Bears and the Cleveland Browns. NFL's Monday Night Football, live 8 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Mountain Time over most of these ABC stations. The Bears fought tough in Philadelphia last week. And Cleveland having a good season under Sam Vitigliano and Brian Sipe. Live 9 o'clock and 8 o'clock Monday night. 1st down 10. Craig James gets the handoff, and James surges over right tackle out across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Here's a look at Craig James. Sophomore, 6'1", 220 with great speed. He had an unbelievable average as a high school senior. He averaged 9.9 yards per carry. You had sounds like Jimmy Saxton's records. 2nd down and 4. Ball at the 26-yard line. James again. Big hole again. 1st down again. SMU.
Coach Meyer said it's really a pleasure to now take the ball and just cram it at people. Said we've never been able to do that before. Said this is the first year I've ever felt confident that we could take the ball and run off tackle and generate an offense.
You know, he's really got what could be a ticklish situation too, Coach, with Eric Dickerson and Craig James, both sophomores, both the same position. He's handled it well, don't you think?
And the boys have handled it well.
Yes. 1st down and 10. Flag is down. Drayton got the handoff at the 35-yard line, but there is an infraction. Would you be tempted with 2 kids that talented to switch offenses, say go to the beer and use them both?
Well, you'd always be tempted to do it. I've admired the attitude of the players themselves. They say they like it this way, that they stay rested, they are good competition for each other, and as long as they're happy, and as long as their ball's being moved, well, and Coach Myers has handled it very well, too. That is a ticklish situation to keep the guys with that much talent happy playing part-time.
Well, they both got better than 500 yards, so it's working. Let's listen to the call from Ken Faulkner.
Illegal use of the hands for the offense. Still 1st down.
So it's a 5-yard penalty again. It'll be 1st down and 10. Ball pushed back to the 29-yard line. 4:02 remaining in the 1st quarter. See the sun splashing over Texas Stadium through the hole in the roof. Don Meredith says they still ought to cover this thing someday. Don't think they're going to. 1st down and 15. James, big hole. He's got a block and a 1st down. And still struggling to the 45-yard line. Jeff Farrar made the tackle, number 34, the strong safety. 27-yard gain for Craig James.
James not only has speed, he has strength. He carries Farrar quite a distance there. He hangs on right there, hangs on, and no, Craig just keeps on churning. Finally, they got him down.
It'll be 1st down and 10. Farrar lives in Colleyville, just nearby. I'll tell you how I'm aging. When he was in the 6th grade, he used to cut my lawn. Eric Dickerson in the lineup. Dickerson gets the handoff at 2 yards down to the 42-yard line. 14-0. SMU leads. A blocked punt returned by Byron Hunt for a touchdown. There's a look at Leandrew Brown, number 35, who's come in with Jeff Farrar. Farrar, number 34. I'd go completely forgotten the youngster used to cut my yard until he reminded me of it last year down at A&M. He was a high school running back at Grapevine High School. Nice young man. Jeff Farrar. Second down and 8. McElhenney. Dickerson. Caught and dropped. Michael Charles had also come in the lineup, number 42. It'll be third down. Well, they've kept it on the ground, Coach. Why not, huh?
Yeah, what's Little fire through the line of scrimmage. He saw a gap in there, and he took on the blocker, and then slides right on out and makes the tackle. Good job by Little. I think he's leading the team in tackles, isn't he, Vern?
Yes, he is. Junior from Las Vegas, Nevada. Mike Little, 5'10", 200 pounds. Third down. See if McElhenney does go upstairs. Nope. Yes, he will. Or he'll scramble. It's complete to Mitchell Bennett. Number 7 at the 32-yard line. First down, 10. McElhenney completes it for the first time today. Dan Davis made the tackle.
McElhenney goes back to throw and had good protection, it looked like. Couldn't find anyone. But he has that speed to come out of a tough situation. Threw it well on the run. Mitchell Bennett is a brother of a former player of mine down in Texas.
Which one?
Lonnie Bennett. Bonham, Texas.
He's got tremendous speed, too. About 9.18, I think they clocked him once in the 100. Here's the handoff to Dickerson around the left side. He cuts inside the 25 and runs all the way to the wall. Jeff Farrar, who's made about 5 tackles, made that one again. Forced him out of bounds. This is a young man who was actively recruited by, gee, I don't know how many schools. I'm sure everyone in the Southwest. Most around the country.
Everyone that thought they had any kind of a chance of getting him recruited him.
Including the University of Texas, I would say.
Sure. They worked hard on him. I know that for a fact.
He's going out now, and Craig James comes in. Gary Smith goes wide to the right. His brother Anthony is wide left. 14-0 lead with 2:03 to go first quarter. Handoff goes to James. What a tackle. Cut down to the 23. Mac Moore, senior defensive tackle number 90, made the stop. Let's set that A&M defense, which we've not done yet. Paul Pender at left end, number 98. Mac Moore is the left tackle. Arliss James, 72, the right tackle. Keith Baldwin, number 80. The linebackers, you see number 33, Jerry Bullitt. Number 55, Mike Little. Number 13, Bobby Strojan. On the corners, Dan Davis, 21, and Greg Williams, 19. The safeties, Leandrew Brown, 35, and Jeff Farrar, 34. Third down, a yard. I formation with a wing to the right side. James has it at the 20-yard line. Leandrew Brown made the tackle on it. First and 10, SMU with a 14-0 lead and 1:19 to go in the first quarter. And they're driving. James now has 47 yards on 6 carries. Dickerson had 30 yards on 5 carries. James, blocker in front, Michael Charles. He's inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. They could seemingly just do this all day. 5 yards a clip, Coach.
You know, that little McElhenney, he got right out in front of the guy and threw a block. It's one of those pitchback sweeps. What's number 11 McElhenney trying to get out there and throw a block?
Eric Dickerson checks in now. James on the bench. 2 wide receivers left side on 2nd and 4. The fullback gets it. Michael Charles to the 9-yard line before he's dropped by Jeff Farrar, number 34. Jeff said he's playing at 194 now. Has good speed, but he couldn't make it as a running back, he told me, because it was all straightaway speed. He just wasn't quick and couldn't cut. And he was pleased with Tom Wilson found a spot for him at strong safety. He's only a sophomore. Has 2 interceptions already this year. We've got 15 seconds remaining in the quarter. And the ball on the 9-yard line. First and goal, SMU. Now Farrar comes out. Goal line defense in for Texas A&M. Handoff. Dickerson. Flag is dropped as he gets inside the 7 to the 6-yard line, or the 7-yard line. So we'll check the infraction. Mike Little indicating it's against SMU, and indeed it is. Aggies talking it over. There's Mike Little. Texas A&M has been just decimated by injuries. They had 5 captains at the start of the year. Only one is still in there. That's Zach Guthrie. Elroy Steen dismissed from the team. John Dawson went out with an injury. Doug Carr out with an injury. There's one of the great bands in America, the Aggie Band. Mike Mosley not here because of the disciplinary move.
Still first down.
Still first down after the penalty, and they'll mark it off after they change ends of the field because we have finished one. The first quarter has come to a close. And it has been an explosive quarter for the Mustangs of SMU. They have a 14-0 lead. They've also got a first down. They're threatening once again. We'll be back for quarter number 2 in Irving, Texas, right after these messages. Part of the crowd of better than 40,000 expected here this afternoon at Texas Stadium in Irving. Vern Lundquist along with Darrell Royal, former head coach and athletic director at the University of Texas, as we begin the second quarter that has SMU out in front 14-0. And they've got a first down and goal at the 14-yard line. Here come the Ponies. Gary Smith and Anthony Smith both break and go wide to the left side. And there's a good look at Lance McElhenney, the sophomore quarterback, or freshman rather. Eric Dickerson hit by Keith Baldwin, number 80, and knocked down at the 11-yard line. Gain of 3. See number 74 is Zach Guthrie, or Keith Guthrie rather. Well, the offensive right tackle for Texas A&M is also number 74. His brother Zach Guthrie. Their mom asked if they couldn't both wear the same number since one plays defense, one plays offense. And that's one of them in there right now. Keith Guthrie, he's a freshman. I don't think I've ever heard of that before. Don't know of any mamas who felt that strongly about it, huh? Motion down, second down. McElhenney on the option as flags fly, and he's cut down back at the 15-yard line. Illegal procedure, I think, against SMU. Bobby Strojan, the linebacker, talking it over. Here's Faulkner against the Ponies. Here's Faulkner. Let's see if we can hear it.
Illegal shift. Offense. Decline. Third down.
I guarantee you, Darrell, Ken Faulkner didn't grow up in Boston. That's not an Eastern accent.
Well, what happened on that play, they had a man going in motion and the lineman was moving at the same time. And, of course, you can't have a lineman moving at the same time you have a man going in motion.
McElhenney was caught and dropped, so it'll be third and goal from the 15. 2 wide receivers left side, and Clement Fox, his tight end, is tight to the right. Here comes the blitz. The handoff goes to Dickerson. He's caught at the line of scrimmage by Will Wright, number 50, sophomore linebacker. Good defensive play by the Aggies, and that'll bring up a fourth down, and we're going to see Eddie Garcia. Garcia for the year is 6 out of 13 on field goals. He's the all-time leading scorer. There's Ron Meyer talking it over with Lance McElhenney. All-time kicking scorer for SMU, 8 of 14 a year ago, and 7 of 10 as a freshman. Eric Capus, the punter, is the holder, number 2. Garcia will try and put it through from 32 yards away. Near hash mark, and here's the kick. May have hooked it. He didn't. He missed it wide on the left side. Garcia will go back and face Coach Ron Meyer as he misses from 32 yards out. 14-0. Aggies have held despite a first down and goal from the 9-yard line. Texas A&M will have the ball when we return right after this message. 13 minutes, 22 seconds remaining in the first half. 14-0 SMU. They just chewed up 6 minutes and 35 seconds on the clock, but came away empty-handed when Garcia missed the field goal wide to the left. There's Gary Kubiak, the sophomore quarterback for the Aggies. First and 10 at the 20. Pitch out. Johnny Hector. He's got a blocker in front, Robinson, and he spilled as he gets up to the 26-yard line. Number 77 leading the way around the right side. One of the few times, Coach, that they've gone at the vicinity occupied by John Simmons. Here are the first quarter stats. SMU with 7 first downs to 2. On top in both rushing and passing totals. Offensive plays about even. Turnovers even. Time of possession relatively close, but the score's not.
And that doesn't speak for the kicking game. There's a vast difference in the kicking game.
Second down and 4, Texas A&M. Handoff goes to David Hill, and he's close for the first down if he got across the 30-yard line, which he appeared to have done. So that moved the chains, I think. They may call him out. No, he got it, 1st and 10. David Hill, 5'11", 222-pound junior. Had only 99 yards coming into the game and has picked up 12 on 3 carries this afternoon. First down 10, Texas A&M down by 14 with 12.5 minutes remaining in the first half. High formation. Option play. Kubiak has it. He runs into a wall of blue jerseys. Led by number 74, Michael Carter, and Kevin Adams, who's come into the linebacker spot, number 39. 94, Mark Gibson is also in there. He has come in place of Michael Carter, as a matter of fact. It was 94 instead of 74 who had the initial contact. Kevin Adams, 39. There's a look at Gary Kubiak. 6'1", 191-pound sophomore. 2nd and 8. Johnny Hector being chased by Harvey Armstrong. Gets by him. First down 10. Finally knocked off his feet by Byron Hunt, number 80. But he got all the way to the 43-yard line. There's Hunt from Longview, a 4-year starter. We'll look at it again. Coach Darrell Royal.
Pitch back sweep with a fullback leading. Number 77 is out front on the play. Great run there by Hector, and this is what they were talking about, the leg strength that he has. He just jumped sideways there. Left the tackler standing.
First down and 10, Texas A&M. Their 2nd in succession on this current drive. The fullback, David Hill, directly into the arms of Jared Moore, number 90, a junior from Denison, Texas. Gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Pony defense, as we said, has played quite well this year. They've come together as a unit. Most of these kids have played together now for 2, 3, 4 years. Texas Tech 24-0 over Texas. We had a 24-14 score. That was a visual. That's 24-0. 2nd down. Billy Cannon, motion wide to the left. Johnny Hector cuts inside. James Mobley gets to the 50. Still struggles close for a first down at the SMU 47. And they'll move the chains again. Alabama leading Mississippi State 6-0 in the 3rd quarter. Emory Bellard is doing a super job over Mississippi State this year, 3-0.
He is a good football coach.
Notre Dame. And there's the game you saw earlier over most of these ABC stations. 13-10, a tremendous game. Georgia, South Carolina. Georgia unbeaten. South Carolina, its 2nd loss of the year. 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line. Johnny Hector, right side, down to the 40-yard line before he's tackled. Hector, a productive afternoon. 10 carries for 59 yards already in the first half. Eric Ferguson and Harvey Armstrong made the tackle. He's a sophomore from New Iberia, Louisiana.
He shows no effects of being dejected. That guy is stirred up trying to play a good football game, trying to win.
1st and 10, or 2nd and 5, rather, at the 40-yard line. David Hill gets the handoff and 1 yard for his effort. 3 feet, that's it. It'll be 3rd and 3. How critical do you think this drive is for the Aggies? They're down 14-0 now.
It's extremely critical. You know, missing that field goal had a big effect on this ball game too. If they could possibly knock this thing on in, or just get a field goal out of it, get something. They need a little bit of encouragement. They need something good to happen to them.
3rd down and 3 yards for the first down. The ball at the 39. Pitch out. Hector, good defensive charge, but Hector's got the first down at the 35-yard line as Byron Hunt made the tackle. He has been a workhorse of a back now. 63 yards on 11 carries. 6th first down for Texas A&M. They're 2 of 6 on 3rd down conversions now. Johnny Hector, 11 for 63. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. 9 minutes to go, first half. 14-0 SMU. Kubiak can't get by Jared Moore, number 90. And the junior linebacker makes the tackle, no gain. Jared Moore, starter in '79, but has been in a reserve role this year. Plays a lot, of course, but very active here in the first half. Number 80 is Byron Hunt, the youngster who scored the touchdown. First touchdown of the game, 20, James Mobley. Second down and 9. Comes the rush from the outside. Kubiak going deep. Overthrows Mike Whitwell at the 2-yard line. And he went into double coverage down there on the right side. Kubiak still looking for his first pass completion of the day. Wes Hopkins and John Simmons were defending that time. Brings up a third down and 9. Kubiak 0 for 5. Play brought in by number 18, David Scott. What do you think?
I'm sure they're going to put it in the air. Or maybe they might run a little screen.
Third down and 9 at the 35-yard line. Here comes the blitz from the safety, and they got him. Mobley was coming on the blitz. He wasn't in on the tackle. Jared Moore was, number 90. And they pushed them all the way back to the 45 and bring up a punting situation.
Well, they had a running play call. They were going to give the ball back to Hector. As you can see, he was kind of a Statue of Liberty. It looked like he was supposed to come back around behind Kubiak, the quarterback, and he got on the wrong side of it. And that's a bad time for that to happen with the blitz on.
Because they've got to kick to that man, John Simmons, as well. Here's Kyle Stewart. He gets it away. Simmons is going to let it go into the end zone, which it does. It'll come out to the 20. And 39 seconds remaining in the first half of our ball game. SMU scored 14 first half points. They have been unanswered by the Aggies. SMU's got the ball. Ron Meyer, 5th year as head coach of the SMU Mustangs for his career here. 21 wins, 29 defeats, and 1 tie. Had a very successful career at Nevada, Las Vegas prior to that. First down and 10, SMU's got the ball. Drayton and James behind Lance McElhenney. Left side. Drayton is driven back all the way back to the 19. Arliss James, number 72, and Keith Baldwin defensively for Texas A&M. They have had one switch also defensively in the front line. Robert Stoss has come on wearing number 89. He replaces Paul Pender, number 98, who went out with a twisted knee. And don't know if he'll be back. 7:15 to go first half. Bert Lundquist along with Darrell Royal here at Texas Stadium in Irving. A&M cheerleaders, their band is here. Will be performing at halftime along with the Mustang band. Here's Greg James. Oops. Not much there. The door closed by the Aggies at the 21-yard line. It was Arliss James, number 72, the senior from nearby Plano.
I think I've caught a different tempo by these Aggies since that missed field goal by SMU. Since that time, they seem to have picked up a little bit of aggressiveness, a little bit more confidence. I think they're playing much more consistently on defense. And they had a nice drive going there until they had that mix-up on the draw play they were trying to run, the reverse.
Third down and 9 for the Mustangs at their own 21 with a 14-0 lead. McElhenney fakes the draw, rolls out. He's looking deep, fires over the middle for Clement Fawkes at the 30-yard line, and it's incomplete. Leandrew Brown defending. Clement Fawkes, number 86, kind of an interesting guy. He's got some interesting hobbies, Darrell.
Well, he collects antique guns. He likes military history. His favorite movie star is John Wayne. His favorite movie is Patton. If this broadcast is reaching anywhere in Russia, well, don't feel so secure over there. I believe that old boy might could defend our country pretty good.
That's Clement Fawkes, a senior from Shreveport. Eric Capus, who's been a sensation as a JC transfer. Here's a line drive kick, and he outkicked his coverage. David Scott is back at the 35, trying to get to the outside, being chased, and is hauled down at the 37-yard line. Russell Carter, a freshman, made the tackle. There is also a flag down on the far side of the field at the point of the tackle. So we'll keep it here and see what happened. Flag is down at the 36. face mask call against SMU. So the Aggies not only get the kick return, but they've got the penalty tacked on, and it goes all the way to the 49-yard line of SMU. See if we can find it, Coach.
Here he is headed to the sideline. Let's have a look and see if they did have hold. Yeah, there he got it. Got it with his left hand. See him pull his head down?
So that cost them 15 yards, and A&M has the ball at the SMU 49-yard line. We've got 6 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the first half of play. Autumn afternoon here in Irving, Texas, and a crowd enjoying themselves as SMU and A&M play football. 6:10 to go in the first half. The Aggies have got the ball at the SMU 49-yard line. First down and 10. And as Coach Royal pointed out, they have indeed changed the tempo of their play since that missed field goal by SMU. Kubiak will hand it off to Hector. He comes rolling to the left side and picks up a quick 3 yards to the Pony 46-yard line. Blaine Smith, number 23, one of those in on the tackle. And a couple of guys very slow getting up. There's Johnny Hector. Sophomore, 9.7 speed in the 100. And 12 carries for 66 yards. He'll come out and get a rest now. David Scott comes to the left side. Thomas Sanders, a freshman from Giddings, Texas, has taken Hector's place in the lineup. He's the deep back in the eye on 2nd and 7. Sanders, right side. Cut down as he gets to the 44 by Byron Hunt, number 80.
Hunt's having himself quite a day. Number 80, defensive right end. He pursues along at a flat angle that you have to intercept the ball carrier, and intercept him he does.
So a key third down now coming up as Byron Hunt puts the stops to that effort. 3rd down and 4. 5:03 remaining in the first half. SMU on top, 14-0. Draw play. Sanders wrapped up. Scott Gibson, number 94, one of 2 Gibson brothers on the team, makes the tackle. It'll be 4th down. So again, A&M unable to push in for the score. John Simmons back to return the punt. Kyle Stewart put it in the end zone last time. Stewart, just a freshman from Abilene Cooper. He was a 10-sport letterman. 10 letters won, not 10 sports. 4-sport letterman, and he won 10. Here's the kick. Simmons, fair catch call at the 11-yard line. 4 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in the first half of play. SMU defense is held. They've given their team the ball back at the 11-yard line. 4 minutes 17 seconds remaining in the first half. Ponies have the ball back at their own 11-yard line. Eric Dickerson has checked in now for the Mustangs. Mitchell Bennett, number 7, comes wide to the near side as you look at the freshman Lance McElhenney. His brother Lott is the backup tight end for the Ponies. Eric Dickerson gets maybe 3 out near the 14-yard line. Mackmore, number 90, makes the tackle. Dickerson hampered last year, his freshman season, by a series of injuries that hobbled him much of the season. Nonetheless, he still picked up 447 yards. Over the 500-yard mark this year. He's got 36 yards on 8 carries this afternoon. 2nd down and 7. 3:49 to go. Do you stay conservative here, Coach? Do you stay conservative on offense?
Oh, I would think so. They've got a 14-point lead, and it's look out.
No sooner having said that, it's back to the 5.
That's right.
And that's why, perhaps, huh?
Well, there's not much time you don't have enough time to go on a long drive right at this point. I would think that Coach Myers would be happy if there's just some way they could get the ball back near midfield at this point, in possession of the Aggies, get it safely out of this dangerous field position.
McElhenney was dropped then, and he's lost yardage back inside the 10-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 12 with 3:10 to go in the first half. Here's Ron Myers. He and his wife, Cindy. His daughter, by the way, is one of the mascot cheerleaders today, Elizabeth Meyer, along with Katie Potts, the daughter of athletic director Russ Potts. Here's the handoff up the middle, and it'll be 4th down. Arliss James makes the tackle, number 72. Mike Little is in the area, number 55. So we're going to look at Eric Kafis again. There are the little girls. Elizabeth Meyer and Katie Potts. It's got to be a thrill for them to be with the big folks down on the sideline.
Don't you know everyone looks 10 feet tall to those little girls?
Isn't that true?
Down on that sideline.
David Scott waits for the punt. Eric Kafis, transfer from Coffeyville Junior College in his first year. Had a tremendous average. 44.3. Here's the kick. It's low in a line drive, and Scott grabs it at the 49. That wasn't a great kick. Scott down to the 38-yard line of SMU. Still 2 minutes and 6 seconds, and he almost popped it.
That was very close. I think had he maintained his balance and his footing right there, I think he had additional blockers up in front of him. I believe it'd have been all the way.
Today at halftime, ABC News halftime report will bring you the latest developments on the situation in Iran. We'll talk more about that in a second. Take a look at the punt return again.
Here's the return. He slips one right there. Had he made it past that tackler, he'd have had it.
First down and 10. Good block. Kubiak. Now he's in trouble. We may have a face mask on. Byron Hunt did a super job of fighting off the block and getting back there initially. But it's going to be face mask against SMU.
This is a big break that the Aggies need. Here comes the Kubiak back on the throw, and he received quite a bit of pressure. The receivers were covered. He didn't have any place to throw the football. It looked like he might be thrown for a loss. And you can see the hand go definitely on the nose guard right there. Had a hold of it a little bit. It's kind of hard not to hold on to something that hits your hand. That's really hard. But it was a foul.
Let's listen to Ken Faulkner. He'll confirm what you already suspect.
Face mask violation. Defense. First down.
15-yard penalty. And here come the Aggies with new life at the 23-yard line. Hector. Oh, what a tackle by Richard Neely. Number 78 was up shoulder high to make the stop. He's a Highland Park youngster also from here in Dallas. Today at halftime, ABC News Halftime Report brings you the latest developments on the situation in Iran. Then tomorrow, a special edition of Issues and Answers. Peter Jennings will talk via satellite to Iran's Foreign Minister Ghazbadeh at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, followed immediately by an interview with U.S. Secretary of State Edmund Muskie at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's a special edition of ABC News Issues and Answers tomorrow over most of these ABC stations. Timeout has been called by SMU. And look at this. A final score, Coach.
Final?
Emory Ballard's team has knocked off Alabama 6-3.
Gee whiz. Well, you know Emory Ballard has been quietly building a program over there, and they say that he doesn't show much excitement. He doesn't show too much emotion. I bet that pipe's smoking tonight. You know, wouldn't be able to see him at that press conference now for that smoke from that pipe.
Well, they're 6-2 for the year, I think, aren't they?
They've got a good football season going, and they've got a tremendous one right now. You know, it's been a long time since Mississippi State's been able to knock off Alabama.
Something else a long time that folks forget. You coached there at Mississippi State.
Yeah, that was one of the schools that I walked through there one time or another.
6-3 Mississippi State over Alabama. Second down. And here's Kubiak, fakes the draw, flips it into the flat, overthrows David Hill. He has not been on target with his passing arm today. He's 0 for 6. Came in hitting only 33% of his passes for the year.
You know, that just strengthens Georgia's chances of going to the Sugar Bowl, too, even more with their victory today. So maybe the Cotton Bowl might be able to crack the bear to bring the Crimson Tide into Dallas.
Third down and 9. Aggies are 2 out of 8 on third down conversions. They've got a key one right now with 1:32 to go in the half. Here comes the blitz. Kubiak gets tremendous protection, but nobody in the secondary is open. He's caught and trapped at the 27 by Byron Hunt again. Kubiak is down. Coming up at halftime today is our Fireman's Fund flashback. Game highlights involving 4 of the top-ranked teams in the country. North Carolina, Oklahoma, and Missouri and Nebraska.
No way.
Adam Smith comes on to try the field goal. He's a freshman from Texas City for the year, 2 out of 5. This will be a 44-yard effort from the far hash mark. Barefoot kicker. Snap a little high, the kick is blocked. Picked up by the Aggies, and here they go. It's Byron Hunt again. He's going to be caught and dropped to the 11-yard line. Simmons.
It was Simmons again.
It was Simmons, 50 yards. I said Byron Hunt. It was John Simmons.
Boy, that Simmons comes off the line like a shot. Leaves his feet and extends himself, has his hands way out in front of him, gives himself up to block his 3rd field goal of the year. Knocked it over to his old teammate Byron Hunt.
It was Simmons who blocked it and Hunt who picked it up. And take a look at it again.
This is what you call teamwork. John says, I'll block it, knock it over to you, Brother Hunt. You take it and go.
Well, the kicking game has been outrageously successful for SMU this afternoon. Both of their touchdowns established by the kick. You don't think they're going to tease Byron Hunt about not getting into the score, do you?
Well, that was a running back that, or a back that caught him, and he probably doesn't have as much speed as that guy. Yeah, they'll probably razz him a little bit. If SMU wins, he'll be able to take a little ribbon.
50-yard return. Simmons with his 3rd blocked field goal of the year. SMU's got the ball on the 11-yard line with 47 seconds to go in the game. There's John Simmons. Is he a handsome youngster?
He really is.
Mississippi State, once again, knocked off Alabama 6-3. Longest winning streak in college football comes to a close. Something like 28 games. Pitch out, right side, Craig James. And he's going to be knocked down at the 11-yard line. Jerry Bullock, 19-year-old freshman from El Paso, number 33, made the stop. Leandrew Brown, number 35, also there.
Little is great at playing off of blockers. There he defeats a blocker, slides out, back to the inside. He at least rechanneled the ball carrier, knocked him out so that Blewett could make the tackle.
Pass incomplete in the end zone for Anthony Smith on the 2nd down play. As SMU went with a quick count, and they've got a 3rd down and 9 now at the 11-yard line. 20 seconds to go in the first half. There's Lance McElhenney. Brother Lott plays here. His brother Don, or his father Don McElhenney, in oil and gas here in Dallas, was a standout at SMU back in the 50s and also played in the National Football League for 6 years. And the 2 kids, Lott and Lance, both stars at Highland Park High School.
They say apples don't fall too far from the tree.
Here's Lance, same pass play in the corner, over the shoulder, just missed by Anthony Smith, senior from Houston. So Eddie Garcia, who has missed one here in the second half, will come on and try and tack on 3 points for SMU.
The whole difference has been the kicking game. This was an excellent call. I had a receiver open. It just led just a little bit too much out in the end zone for the touchdown. It would have been a touchdown.
Garcia will kick it, and Eric Kafis will hold it. And all of that will transpire at the 19-yard line. 29-yard field goal from the right hash mark. Last time Garcia hooked it left from this same spot. This time it is up, and it's good. He got it. 28 yards officially on the field goal for Eric Garcia, and Peruna is going to parade for us. 17-0, and the kicking game has accounted for every one of the 17 points.
General Nealon told us a long time ago when he was coaching at the University of Tennessee. He talked the kicking game and field position. And you can certainly win with it. You can do it then, you can do it now, and you'll be able to do it 15 years from now, too.
Really is one of the most under-publicized aspects of football, though, isn't it?
It really is. It isn't even totaled in statistics, for instance. You know, we had the total offense a minute ago, and SMU only had the ball 4 times, and, you know, it looks like they haven't done anything, but they were playing a tremendous football game because, looking at statistics, the kicking game was left out. I think it should be figured in some way to give really an accurate appraisal of what's happening on the field. They've never been able to do that with the kicking game, not to my satisfaction anyway.
2 block kicks for SMU and a punt return by John Simmons, 17-0. Here's the kick by Garcia. And Cannon will run this one out. Comes to his left. He's got sprinter speed, but he is not going to get outside. He's cut down as he nears the 18-yard line. Tackle is made by Bowles, the defensive end, number 37. 6 seconds to go in the first half. 17-0 SMU on top. Hoping to defeat A&M for the first time. And look at this at halftime, Coach.
Hey, the old horns came to life. They've closed in. What was that, 24-0 at one time, wasn't it?
Yes, I discovered a lilt in your voice that wasn't there 30 seconds ago. Mississippi State over Alabama 6-3.
You know, of course, you talk about the great upset that Mississippi State pulled off. In a way, I'm kind of mixed in my emotions. I'm happy for Emory Bellard, but I'm kind of sad to see Bear lose a ball game. He's been such a great guy for the game of football, a close personal friend of mine also. He is really one of my idols now in coaching. And hate to see it happen.
Well, it's halftime here at Irving, Texas. We'll be back with today's halftime activities after this message about an upcoming show on ABC and a word from our local stations. Vern Lundquist and Darrell Royal back at halftime at Texas Stadium in Irving as SMU has posted a 17-0 lead over Texas A&M. Blocked kick return by Byron Hunt for 1 touchdown. A punt return by John Simmons of 66 yards for another. And Byron Hunt picking up a blocked field goal from John Simmons as he ran all the way down to the 11, and then Eddie Garcia knocking through a 28-yard field goal. So the kicking game has given SMU all of its points and a 17-0 bulge. And here, folks, one of the most famous marching bands in the country, the Aggie Band, under the leadership of Lieutenant Colonel Joe Haney, and they're playing the Aggie War Hymn. Let's go down and listen. selection of Lieutenant Colonel Joe Haney. It's quite a sight every time they perform. Of course, Texas A&M is located in College Station, Texas, in the heart of this state. Let's take a look at the campus of A&M.
Scholars, but from the brush of one of its own, noted artist Buck Shewitz. Deep roots were planted 104 years ago in Old Maine, where a handful of students and faculty first gathered. Today, enrollment at the nation's fastest-growing university exceeds 33,000, including one of the largest congregations of National Merit Scholars on any campus in the country. The A&M Colleges of Engineering, Agriculture, and Veterinary Medicine are the nation's largest. Only the service academies commission more officers into the armed forces. Texas A&M is among the world leaders in energy and food supply research. It's a university given from rich history and tradition, the inspiration to face the challenges of a modern world.
And now the Aggie band forming the Block T as they continue their impressive halftime show here. This is something you didn't get to see for 20 years.
You know, this is really impressive. Those guys are well drilled. I imagine their bandmaster might be about 40 and old.
I'm reminded of the time during the Texas-Oklahoma game when one of the bands had a show that lasted 15 minutes and the other band didn't get on. And it was your band that didn't get on.
I recall.
There it is, the famous Block T. Other key games going on this afternoon, of course, Oklahoma, North Carolina, and Missouri, Kansas, involving teams in the top 20. And highlights of those games are today's Fireman's Fund Flashback. Today's Fireman's Fund Flashback is being brought to you by Fireman's Fund Insurance. And Fireman's Fund Insurance is brought to you by an independent agent near you. Now, highlights of those two games.
This is Dave Alabama in a startling upset. Beaten by Mississippi State, the score was 6-3. Field goals by Dana Moore did it. Field goal of 37 yards, then one of 22. The nation's #1 team, which had won 28 in a row, might have won the game. But a fumble at the Mississippi State 4-yard line with 6 seconds to play was recovered by Mississippi State. Earlier in the day, South
Vietnam is Texas Stadium in Irving. SMU leading A&M 17-0 as we get underway. Halftime stats fairly even, but the difference has been in the kicking yardage. First downs, A&M leads that. Rushing yardage, they lead that. They haven't completed a pass yet. Offensive plays, only 4 the difference there. 2 turnovers to 1. Time of possession in favor of the Aggies. But the one graphic that is not there is return yardage in the kicking game. 125 yards in returns on the kicking game for SMU. They've had a blocked field goal, a blocked punt, and a punt return for a touchdown, and that's why they lead 17-0. I'm Vern Lundquist, along with Darrell Royal. We're set to go for the second 30 minutes, and Alan Smith will kick off. Dick Blaylock and John Simmons are deep. This will be John Simmons at the 6. 20, 25, going left and driven down finally at the 29-yard line. The Texas A&M at SMU football game is being brought to you by Chevrolet and your Chevy dealer with Chevette Monza Citation in the new Monte Carlo. Chevy's up ahead for 1981. By Westinghouse and the 140,000 Westinghouse employees worldwide. And by Poulan. Across America, people who know chainsaws are buying the one they can't pronounce. Poulan, the green chainsaw with a name worth remembering. Boy, I led right into that, didn't I? Here's the handoff on the right side to Craig James, and he's out to the 34-yard line. Flag is down at the point of the catch. Personal foul, Texas A&M. So we'll mark off 15 yards and give SMU immediate excellent field position all the way out to their own 49-yard line. Here's the call from Ken Faulkner, the referee.
Dead ball, personal foul, defense, first down.
First down at the 49, first down and 10. And here come the ponies. Lee Jean is into the wide receiver spot, number 45. He's at the bottom of your screen, wide to the right side, and Anthony Smith is split wide left. Hand off to the fullback, Charles Drayton. He's a sophomore from Indiantown, Florida. Arliss James, number 72, made the tackle. Mike Jesko, the offensive tackle on the left side. Robert Barnes, the left guard. Lance Peterson is the center. He's a senior. Mike Mason, the offensive guard on the right side. He's 25 years old. Lee Spivey, offensive tackle from Houston. And the tight end, Clement Fox. Second down, 9. SMU with the lead of 17-0. I formation. McElhaney, the lead option, going to the left. He's going to be cut down as he gets to the Texas A&M 48-yard line. Third quarter score for you. Baylor 22, San Jose State 16. Here's Gary Smith, SMU wide receiver. His brother Anthony Smith on the other side. Charles Drayton, the starting fullback. And Craig James, the starting running back. Lance McElhaney getting his second start as the freshman quarterback of SMU. Third down, 8. I formation. McElhaney pops it over the head of Lee Jean, the wide receiver on the left side. Senior from Santa Fe. Greg Williams defending, so McElhaney now 2 of 7. He'll go to the bench. Lee Jean will also. And we'll see Eric Kapis, the punter, come on. David Scott goes deep to return for Texas A&M. SMU unable to move on its first possession of the second half. 17-0. There's a look at David Scott. And a look at Eric Kapis. He's at a 44.3 average. Hasn't kicked all that well today. Kicks a 44-35. Here's the nice high boot, though. This time he really gets a good one. Fair catch call. Ball will bounce and go on into the end zone. Touchback. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. 48-yard kick for Kapis that time. There you get an end zone view of the crowd gathered here on a perfectly lovely afternoon. Temperature in the mid-70s. They expected a crowd of 40,000. They don't have the announced figures yet. And here comes Texas A&M with sophomore quarterback Gary Kubiak leading him up. Johnny Hector, nothing doing. Harvey Armstrong saw to that, number 75 in the blue-clad SMU uniform. It'll be a gain of nothing. Second down and 10. Well, officially they're going to call it 9. And Kevin Kennedy, a sophomore from Conroe, Texas, limping off now for the Aggies. Ankle or foot injury, obviously, in his right foot. David Scott comes wide to the left. And Billy Cannon lines up in a slot left. A good close-up view of Gary Kubiak, quarterback. Cannon in motion, wide right. He's followed by James Mobley. Pitch out, Johnny Hector. That sweep to the right side. This time it doesn't work. Jared Moore, number 90, who's having a tremendous afternoon. And Harvey Armstrong, number 75. Here's the Aggie offensive line. Tommy Thompson, Kevin Kennedy, who just came to the sideline. David Bandy, the center. Right guard is Tommy Robinson from Portland, Texas. Right tackle, Zach Guthrie, one of the co-captains for the Aggies. And Pat Flynn, the tight end, number 82. Third down, 11. 12:09 to go third quarter. David Hill gets about 3, not nearly enough for the first down, so punting situation coming up for A&M. Jared Moore, number 90, again made the tackle. And Kyle Stewart comes on to punt now. John Simmons is deep. Stewart from Abilene Cooper. Here's the kick. It is a great kick. Chasing Simmons all the way back to the 23-yard line. Looks for the wall, comes right. There's a block. He's at the 40. He's got 3 men downfield. Going to his left at the 30. Comes back and is cut down at the 20-yard line. A 53-yard punt, 56 on the return. And there's a flag down at the 21-yard line. 4.2 hang time. So we'll wait to see after that 56-yard return what the call is. It'll be against SMU. They'll mark off 15. And Ken Faulkner will inform us of the nature of the infraction. Here's Faulkner.
Flip it. On the run back, offense, first down.
Simmons finds a crack there with the kick-out block, finds the wall over to his right, and he had to cut back and got tangled up in his own blocker's feet. And I think that probably, there was the clip right on top of the ball. The man right on top of the football there was the guy that made the clip. Heyday.
First down and 10, SMU. Two wide receivers right side. Craig James hit and driven back by Arliss James, number 72. They are not related.
Jared Moore's having quite a day. Number 80, Hunt, made a block, kind of screened off the Aggie to keep him off of his teammate John Simmons.
Second down and 9. SMU back at the line of scrimmage. I formation. And McElhenney hands it off to Craig James. Tripped up. Ankle tackle is made by number 98, Paul Pender, sophomore from Hillsborough, California.
On the right part of the screen is the guy that picked up the clip call.
Well, I don't think they caught that one. That was a clip, but had that been the clip, they would have marked off the yardage from that spot. The clip came at the end of the play at the 21-yard line, and they marked it back to the 15. They did not call the flag on that clip, which we picked up on the replay. So they were doubly guilty. Third down, 11. McElhenney to throw, going deep across the middle. Should have been intercepted. Jeff Farrar, who has 2 for the year, should have had his 3rd. The sophomore strong safety from Colleyville. And take a look at it again. Coach?
The ball was thrown a little bit wild. He had enough time. He wasn't rushed too much. Hit Farrar right in the hands. I think he had his attention focused on the receiver coming across the middle. He didn't see the ball until just before he got there. Probably the reason he didn't intercept that.
Well, we're going to see a 53-yard field goal attempt by Eddie Garcia. Eric Capus will hold. Garcia has hit from 51 already this year. This will be spotted at the 43-yard line. Capus to hold it, 53-yard effort. Here's the kick. That's got plenty of distance. Easily through it. Could have gone 73. Oh, my goodness. 53-yard kick. Garcia's good. His 2nd of the day. And SMU has increased its lead. It's now 20-0 SMU over Texas A&M. Garcia after a 53-yard kick. Hello. I promise you that thing could have gone 70, Coach.
He got a better welcome from Coach Myers after he kicked that one than he did after he missed that first one from down in close.
Eddie Garcia 2 for 3. He'll kick off again. And the deep man, Bernice Simon and Billy Cannon. Cannon to the left side, Simon to the right. Cannon wears number 22. Here's the kick return, and it'll come out to the 20. I was reading an article in Inside Sports about LSU, and they remember the tremendous punt return by Billy Cannon Sr., LSU Ole Miss on Halloween night, 1959. His son returned 179 yards in a high school game to beat his alma mater on Halloween night, 1979. 20 years later, kind of eerie, they said.
Only on Halloween night.
First and 10, Texas A&M down by 20. Ron Meyer has never defeated the Aggies. He's 0-4 against them in his 4 previous encounters. We've televised 3 of those 4, I think. First and 10, Texas A&M at the 20-yard line. Kubiak hands it off to Hector. Hector, nice run. That's good for a 16-yard pickup and a first down. And Hector goes across 100 yards for the day. He's got 101 now.
Hector had a tremendous hole. 77. Thompson comes across, kicks out, and Hector finds tremendous running room. And with good leg drive, he carries it on for a sizable gain, trying to get something going for the Aggies.
101 yards now for Johnny Hector. First down and 10 at the 37-yard line. Kubiak still trying to complete his first pass. There's a fumble. I believe the Aggies got it back. We'll see. Who got it? SMU picked it off. An unemotional Ron Meyer on the sideline. unless Washington got the fumble. We'll look again.
Ball is loose right there. I thought that Jared Moore had the ball. It looked like it, but you can see it come right up under Washington. Washington has it, no question about it. Mustangs ball.
9:20 to go, third quarter. Mustangs leading 20-zip. Eric Dickerson in a tailback now, along with Michael Charles. There's the audible. You see Charles moving from the fullback position. And they took too long with the change of play at the line of scrimmage. It'll cost him 5 yards. Lance McElhenney. Many in this part of the country. Well, let's check other scores around the country. Nebraska over Missouri, 28-13, fourth quarter.
Illegal delay, offense, still first down.
That's Ken Plucker. First down and 15. Dickerson deep back in the eye. Michael Charles, a sophomore from Houston. Dickerson, sophomore from Sealy. The option play, the pitch back to Dickerson. The block is there. He picks up the 5 back to the 35-yard line. Oh, that was risky the whole way. Paul Pender made the tackle. And there's a player down for SMU at the 35-yard line. Mike Jusko, the senior from Granada Hills, California. Or Perry Hartnett, beg your pardon, 77 instead of 71. Perry Hartnett, junior from Galveston. And they will help him to the sideline. We'll get a report as soon as we possibly can from the SMU bench. Passing yardage so far. SMU 24, A&M zip, 0 of 6. There's Tom Wilson. He is 12-12 as head coach at Texas A&M. And these have been troubled times. He's had well-documented drug problem with the ball club, which he handled with authority and strength, and received the backing of many of the supporters of A&M, but it's been a problem season for him. Second down 11, along with the injuries that have crippled this team. Here comes the rush from the right side. McElhenney's going to be buried back at the 42. It'll be third down. Mike Little made the tackle. Ron Meyer on the far side. We'll look at the replay.
Little, number 55, delays and then comes in late and throws McElhenney for a loss. McElhenney was trying to scramble. He had already saved a rush, took him out of the pass, and Little picked him up.
Third down and 18 for SMU. 20-0 lead with 8:13 to go, third quarter. Lee Jean and Anthony Smith are the wide receivers, both to the left side. Draw play, Dickerson. Watch the speed now. There's a fumble, and it is recovered by the Aggies at the 26-yard line. Leandrew Brown, number 35, got down there to make the pick-off as Dickerson popped it free at about the 35-yard line. We'll look at it from an end zone perspective.
It looked like he had it for a while. Had a good grip on it, but it got away from him. Yep, ran into his man and jarred the ball loose from him.
Well, we've got an updated score you're going to be interested in. We'll give you here in just a second. It's first down and 10, Texas A&M. High formation. And Kubiak will throw. Pops it out, caught by Mike Whitwell, the first pass completion of the day, right in front of John Simmons. Here's a chapter from that book on Ye Should Not Look Beyond Your Next Opponent. Down in Waco with 9 minutes remaining in the game. Baylor 22, San Jose State 23.
Kubiak, first pass completion, throws to Whitwell, and it's a completed pass for the first down.
And another fourth quarter score, still Texas Tech 24, Texas 20 in the fourth quarter. Our score 20-0 with 7:54 to go, third quarter. Aggies first down, or second down and 1 at the 36. Kubiak with a handoff to his fullback, David Hill, good for the first down out of the 40-yard line. So they'll move the chain, and the Aggies will sustain the drive. There's the Aggie band. Richard Neely, the junior from Highland Park. So Gary Kubiak has now run it 10 times and has yet to pick up a yard this afternoon. Has not been his most productive day of the year. 1 for 7 passing and 10 rushes for no gain. Fourth quarter, there's an update for you. Texas Tech over Texas 24-20. Second down and 7. Pitch out, Hector gets around Eric Ferguson, number 99, and he squirts forward down the sideline. Watch out. Dick Blaylock chasing him, and Blaylock caught him from behind and hauls him down at the 14-yard line. That's a gain of 31 yards for the sophomore from New Iberia, Louisiana.
Pitch back sweep. And Hector finds a crease. He turns on excellent speed, evades a tackler there, and then heads down the sideline. And Blaylock was able to get him by the jersey and pull him down, caught him from behind.
Thomas Sanders checks in for Johnny Hector now. I formation behind Kubiak once more. It's Thomas Sanders. Maybe 2 yards, and 2 tough yards at that. Clarence Bennett, sophomore linebacker, number 36, made the tackle. Johnny Hector, Darrell, 130 yards rushing on the day now.
He's having a good day. He is a good runner.
Well, the band is playing the Olympic theme for us here. Hear it? Anybody who works for ABC Sports knows that one quite well. Second down and 7. Aggies at the SMU 24. Kubiak to throw again. Nope, he'll tuck it and run. And he gets hit shoulder high as he gets to the 21-yard line. Again, it was Clarence Bennett, number 36, along with Scott Gibson, number 94. And there's Bennett. Looks like he might be shaken up. See him shake his head a little bit.
That was a pretty good collision. I could imagine that he's shaking his head a little bit.
20-0, 5:44 to go, third quarter. And the Aggies now with a third down. They're 2 out of 9 on third down conversions. Clarence Bennett's going to go out, and Kevin Adams, number 39, takes his place. Third down and 6 with 5.5 to go, third quarter. Hector. Eric Ferguson, number 99, makes the tackle at the 21. It's short of the first down. And decision time for Tom Wilson on the near sideline. Down by 20 with 20 minutes to play in the game. They'll go for it.
I believe they're going to go for it.
Surprise you?
No, not at all. It's going to be awful hard to catch them doing it 3 at a time. They're behind by 20.
Timeout has been called by Texas A&M. They want to talk it over, so Gary Kubiak will come and chat with Tom Wilson, his head coach. That timeout came with 4:51 remaining in the third quarter. SMU facing a critical fourth down defensive effort now. We'll be right back.
If you're ready.
Back to play. Fourth down and 6. And Kubiak is the quarterback. He'll run for it, and he's not going to get it. SMU has held. They take over at the 19. Pretty good defensive effort by the Ponies.
They had him well covered. He had no chance throwing the football, and they had it well contained too.
So SMU holds, they get the ball back just shy of their own 20-yard line. We've still got 4:46 remaining in the third quarter, and we'll return right after this. University of Texas, our score 20-0, SMU on top of Texas A&M. And the Ponies have the ball first down 10 at their own 20-yard line. Running backs now are Michael Charles and Craig James. James gets the handoff, 13th carry of the day for him. He's out for the gain of 5 to the 25. Texas A&M went for the first down on 4th down and 6, and Kubiak was caught. Update you on that score, 4:21 remaining, and San Jose is leading Baylor 30-22. The Bears are undefeated this year. case you missed it earlier, Mississippi State knocked off Alabama today, 6-3. Second down and 4. I formation. And the handoff goes to the fullback, Michael Charles, first down at the 33. Mike Little.
Little's quite a linebacker. He steps in and meets the blocker very well on the line of scrimmage and then slides over in front of it. That was a play that was run away from him. So he did about as well as a coach could expect him to do to even be in on that tackle.
Mike Little, the junior linebacker, number 55. It's going to be first down and 10 nonetheless for SMU. Craig James straight up the middle, breaks the tackle, and is out near the 42-yard line. He picked up a quick 9 on that one. And we'll look from an end zone perspective.
James runs with a lot of power, but then again, the Aggie defensive men are not on target right in front of them. They're off to the side. The blockers for SMU are entertaining the defense well enough to keep them off on the corners. They can't get over straight in front of James, and he does run powerful.
There's documentation of the score we just gave you. Here's Craig James again. He's first down at the 50-yard line. James with 15 carries now for 81 yards. Final in the Ivy League. Yale undefeated, 35-7 over Dartmouth. Harvard nips Brown today, 17-16, the final there. Our score 20-0. And we've got 3:02 to go, third quarter. James again. Nice tackle at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made by Jeff Farrar, number 34. Sophomore from Colleyville, Texas. It just amazes me when he walked up to me last year. He says, "Vern, you remember me?" "Mr. Lundquist, do you remember me?" I didn't care for that. I used to cut your yard. 24-20, Texas Tech over Texas, still in the fourth quarter. Second down and 9, SMU with a 20-0 lead. Eric Dickerson checks in now for the Ponies behind Michael Charles. Handoff goes to Michael Charles, the fullback, and he struggles down to the A&M 43-yard line. Mike Little makes the tackle again. He's been an active linebacker, and we'll look at him in isolation.
Little is a busy young man. He, again, meets the blocker, slides back to his inside. Moore, number 90 for the Aggies, penetrated upfield, and the ball carrier came right in behind where he just left. But Little was over there to keep it from being a big game.
Third down and 4. 1:49 to go, third quarter, 20-0 ball game. SMU on top. McElhaney, Dickerson, first down at the A&M 38-yard line as Jerry Bullitt, freshman number 33, made this stop for the Aggies. And they move the stick south again. This has been a good ground-oriented drive underway for SMU.
It's some powerful running, but the offensive line for SMU doing a good job too. They've got a good inside tackle assault going right now, and they're moving the ball steadily down the field, plus eating up the clock.
First down 10, handoff Dickerson. Dickerson bangs head on the right side, and he's cut down at the 35-yard line. Well, they talk about splitting those two tailbacks, Eric Dickerson and Craig James. 16 carries for James so far and 12 for Dickerson. And between them, they've got 144 yards in the ball game. You like that kind of productivity out of that position.
And going to let Eric rest a little while. Going to bring Craig in. Let him do his number.
So Dickerson goes to the sideline. Craig James comes in. So does Charles Drayton, number 28. It'll be second down 6 with 54 seconds to go, third quarter. Double tight end offense this time as well. Drayton, fullback. He's got a first down plus 5 to the 26-yard line. Jeff Farrar, number 34, again makes the tackle.
Farrar is having a busy afternoon, and that's a guy that you don't want making tackles for you, a guy at the secondary. It was a delayed handoff back there to Drayton, and he found a nice big hole, turned loose into the secondary running, and Farrar brought him down.
First down and 10, SMU. 35 seconds to go in the third quarter, and they lead it by 20. Here's the handoff to Craig James. He surges down to the 20. Darrell they're picking up 5-6 yards at a clip on this drive.
Yeah, they're playing it smart right at this time. It looks like they do have control of the tempo of the game, and they're not doing anything fancy. They're letting the clock run. They don't want to put the ball in the air. All they want to do is methodically move down the field, hopefully get a score, but at least to eat that clock up, because they have a comfortable lead if they just don't foul up by turning the ball over.
Well, the clock's going to run all the way down to 0. That'll end 3 quarters of play, with SMU on top, 20-0. NCAA college football, Texas A&M at SMU will continue after this message and a word from our local station. Far corner, Texas Stadium here in Irving as we begin the 4th quarter. Vern Lundquist along with Darrell Royal, and a good SMU drive underway, Coach.
It's a good 11-play drive so far. It's very methodical. Some people say that this is boring football, but I'll tell you who it bores. It bores those guys over there on defense.
Here's the pitch out to Craig James. Cuts upfield inside the 20 and is tackled as he gets to the 18-yard line. That is the 11th play in this current drive, and it all began after a 4th down and 6 play by Texas A&M. And when they were unsuccessful, kind of took the oomph out of them. Here's the, well, we had a brief glance at the stats. We'll get them back up for you in just a second. 4 linebackers in now for Texas A&M on 3rd and less than a yard. Ball at the 17-yard line. By the way, 364, you see the sign on the far side of the field. That's just kind of a quiet mention of the number of days the hostages have been held in Iran. Just 364. 1 year tomorrow. Here's the quarterback keeper from Lance McElhenney. And it appeared he got the first down 10. Haven't seen that much of his brother Lott. Lott was a fullback at SMU last year, and they put him at tight end this year. And here are the stats, Coach.
Yep. The big statistical advantage, of course, has come in the kicking game. It looks like it's fairly close at this point, 166 to 187. But the kicking game isn't figured in that yardage, so they're fairly even other than the kicking game. But that's what all the scoring has come from, that all-important kicking game.
Of course, we talked about it at the beginning of the show, Lance McElhenney taking over for Mike Ford, and you can see the different emphasis in the offense now. They had 24 yards passing, and with Mike in there as an All-American his sophomore year, they were passing for 3,000 yards a season. High formation with a wing to the right side. Now motion from Mitchell Bennett. The handoff. Oh, McElhenney still got it. Bennett was not open. McElhenney will run, and he is knocked down inside the 10-yard line. Jerry Bullitt made the tackle.
I'd like to see a guy scamper out there like that. It was a good bootleg type run. He made a good fake in there to Eric Dickerson and kind of bootlegged the ball out around, had a good hook block by Drayton, and he turns on a little bit of speed. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's by far the slowest. A nice gain for this end of the field. Gain 9, I guess it is a nice gain.
2nd down for SMU. They don't have enough players in the huddle. And they're going to have to hurry now to get this play called in 25 seconds. They've got 14 remaining. Here's Lott McElhenney, as a matter of fact. Lott McElhenney, number 40. Lance's brother has just come in. 5 seconds to get the play called. 3, 2, 1, motion. All of that for nothing. As Perry Hartman, number 77, jumped on the right side. It'll cost him 5 yards.
Boy, that drives you crazy as a coach. Man alive. They were a little bit confused, and you could tell that they were. I thought McElhenney was trying to check off, and the offensive linemen didn't quite keep their cool, but if they had, the time was going to catch him. I think there was only 1 second left, and he was in the middle of a checkoff.
Dead ball.
Right guard, right tackle jumped offside.
2nd down.
Suddenly 2nd down. They'll mark off 5. 12:44 to go in the ball game. 20-0. And every point that SMU has posted on the board has come as a result of the kicking game. A block punt returned by Byron Hunt, a punt returned by John Simmons, and a couple of field goals, one the result of turnover, and the other result of a blocked field goal by John Simmons. 2nd down, back at the 13-yard line. Lance McElhenney looks it over, draw play, perfect call. Dickerson to the 5 and down to the 2-yard line. They were coming with the blitz, and they beat it with a draw.
That's the danger of the blitz. If they ever part it, if you ever find a little hole, once they get into secondary, it's all over but the shouting. And that's exactly what happened here. The secondary was blitzing. He found a little crease, Eric Dickerson did, and they quickly made up that 5 yards that they lost for jumping offside.
So Dickerson gets it down to the 3-yard line, and it'll be good for a 1st and goal for SMU. Michael Charles and Craig James, the running backs now. And they've got 4 shots from the 3. James flags down. James is in for the touchdown, I believe, but there are also flags down. It'll cost SMU again. Here's Ken Faulkner, the referee, placing the ball down. And now the indication.
Illegal motion. Offense. First down.
5 yards illegal motion. 11:54 remaining in the game. Anthony Smith brings the play in from the bench, and the double tight end offense will be put on the shelves now as Lott McElhenney leaves. Anthony Smith breaks wide to the right side. The tight end, Clement Fox, number 86, is tight right. Oh, we still got 2 tight ends in there. Here's McElhenney to throw into the flat. Incomplete. Intended for Craig James. Let him just about a foot too much. McElhenney for the afternoon, 2 of 9 for 24 yards. Mike Ford on the bench. He's been there for a week and a half now. Mike out last year because of knee surgery in the 2nd game of the year against TCU. Was granted a hardship year. Threw for 6,100 yards his first 2 seasons here at SMU. But just really didn't come back from that knee surgery. The rehabilitation had not been complete, so they made the quarterback change last week. 2nd down and goal. This is Michael Charles, number 42. He squirts down to the 4 or 5 yard line. See where they spot it. There's Mike Ford charting plays on the sideline. And Ron Meyer has been very gracious in talking about how Mike Ford has accepted this transition. It's got to be very tough for a kid who has professional aspirations, Darrell.
Well, he's got his head in this ball game. He's over there taking notes, got the headset on. He's making his contribution the best way he possibly can. I visited with him the other day, and his attitude seems to be excellent.
It'll be 3rd down. McElhenney pops it into the end zone. Up it for grabs. Flag is down, and the catch is made. Touchdown. That's Mitchell Bennett, a sophomore from Bonham. Now is it offensive or defensive pass interference? Look at it again.
That was a tremendous catch. It's a little flare type route that catches the receiver in a bad angle trying to defend against it. And Mitchell Bennett brought this in with one hand. He had only his left hand on the ball, and he was falling backwards as he caught the ball.
Heck of a catch by Bennett, and it's interference against A&M. Penalty declined. Touchdown, Eddie Garcia to try and make it 27-0. Here's the snap. Kick is up. He got it. SMU drive using the running efforts of Craig James and Eric Dickerson. That drive consumed 8 minutes and 48 seconds. It's culminated by the touchdown catch of Mitchell Bennett, and we'll be right back. We've got 10 minutes and 58 seconds remaining here at Texas Stadium on a November afternoon. SMU out on top, 27-0 over Texas A&M. That last drive, 75 yards, and it consumed 8 minutes and 48 seconds. Touchdown catch by Mitchell Bennett. That was, by the way, McElhenney's 2nd touchdown throw this year. He got one earlier in the reserve role. Here's Garcia with a kickoff, and Billy Cannon is going to let it come out of bounds. That'll be a delay of game call, and they'll go back and mark off 5, and Garcia will have to kick it from the 35-yard line. Tremendous catch by Mitchell Bennett, the sophomore running back. Take a look at it again.
This is the same pass that was thrown incomplete and was open earlier in the ball game. Mitchell Bennett juggled the ball just momentarily, but this is some kind of catch. The ball bounces back out to his left, and he brings it in with one arm, one hand.
As a freshman a year ago, they were worried about him because he had a fumble problem, but he showed great hands on that catch. He's a talented youngster.
Might not put the ball away too good, you know, when he's running with it. That doesn't mean that he doesn't have good hands. Sometimes a lot of that fumbling is caused simply because they don't put the ball away.
Eddie Garcia will kick it off from the 35. We've got an upset for you, folks. A final score from Waco. San Jose State has knocked off the undefeated Baylor Bears 30-22. It's a non-conference game, of course, so Baylor is still undefeated in Southwest Conference play. Here's the kick. Billy Cannon, a yard back, decides against coming out. It'll be a touchback, and they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. The crowd noise you hear is the announcement here at Texas Stadium, the final on Baylor and San Jose State. Baylor had defeated SMU earlier this year, 32-28, after the Mustangs had built up a 21-0 first-half lead. Here come the Aggies, and they're down by 27 now. Kubiak is going to have to just go upstairs and hope. Here's the pass, deep left side. Mike Whitwell caught. First down, Dick Blaylock knocks him out of bounds. That one was right on the money. A gain of 23 yards. Well, you know better than anybody, Coach, the Aggies are not going to quit on us.
Especially those guys in the Aggie band, and you know they've got such a tremendous spirit on their campus that it all is passed over to the players. That was interestingly, it was a drop back pass, and he had a little bit more time to look for a receiver. He's been throwing on the run. He's been rolling out and not having anyone open to throw to him.
First down 10, Texas A&M. Kubiak is now 2 out of 8 for 36 yards. He'll throw again. Rolling out to the right, puts it up for Thomas Sanders. He's got room to run at great speed. Sanders is knocked down at the 40-yard line, and Kubiak was knocked off his feet way back to the 25, an 18-yard gain. And a flag is down at the point of the tackle. Billy Cannon limping as he gets up, number 22.
Defensive pass interference. Flag. Pass complete. First down.
First down.
That was a well-concealed screen pass, and when it was caught, he was turned right upfield. He caught it and immediately had upstream momentum going for him. Sanders made a good run after he caught the ball.
It'll be first down at the 38-yard line, Texas A&M. Suddenly the passing game, the last 2 plays, has come alive. Kubiak, 3 of 9 for 50 yards. First down at 10. He's going deep, and Whitwell is down there. It's a touchdown. No! Dropped the ball. John Simmons, who was beat on the play, caught up with him and stripped him of it.
John's very active. He's hard to keep out of your hair. Kubiak threw the ball well. Didn't throw it quite long enough. He received excellent protection on the play, and Simmons got there just in time to nick it with his right hand, just before it got to the receiver, Whitwell.
John Simmons, who's had a tremendous day, blocked the field goal, returned the punt for a touchdown. Here's Kubiak to throw again. Goes deep. Man is open. David Scott first down at the 19-yard line. Scott, the senior from Jasper, Texas. 19-yard gain. And the Aggies are on the march. Coach, got a final for you. I don't want to tell you this, but Texas Tech 24, Texas 20.
Gee whiz.
And the tremendous noise you hear here is the announcement on the scoreboard of that final. Texas falling to SMU last week. So back-to-back losses for the Longhorns under Coach Fred Akers. Here's the handoff to Thomas Sanders. Sanders down to the 15.
Kubiak has thrown the ball very well on this drive. He's got a little bit better delivery than I thought he had. He zipped that last one right in.
Kubiak passed for 6,000 yards in high school in 3 years. Very highly recruited quarterback out of a private school in Houston St. Pius. And he replaced Mike Mosley and will actually replace an injured David Beal, who's expected back in a couple of weeks. David Beal hurt his hand. He's starting to take snaps again this week. Here's Kubiak in trouble. He flips it out for, there's a flag down also at the 15. We may have a clip in addition to an incomplete pass.
Imagine we're going to see the official put his hand on top of his head. No, that's illegal receiver downfield. This will be grounding the ball. This is, he'll give it a shot with both arms.
Well, he got 2 flags down, so SMU talking it over. And here's Ken Faulkner. There's one as a clip. There's the signal you just talked about.
Right.
Watch David Scott now in the end zone.
He breaks off the line of scrimmage, and after a little bit of scrambling around, he was left by himself. But Kubiak didn't have time to find him. There's no way he could find Scott in there. He was fighting for his own life, trying to get out of there and get some breathing room. They were nipping at him all the time, and he couldn't find Scott open.
Well, SMU still is talking it over. And finally, they'll mark off the penalty, and then Ken Faulkner will explain all this to us.
Intentional grounding, offense, loss of down, 3rd down.
3rd down. NFL Monday night this week. Coming up Monday night, Chicago Bears and Cleveland Browns. Live 8 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Mountain Time. Over most of these ABC stations, Cleveland, Brian Sipe, Walter Payton and the Bears. 3rd down and bunch. Kubiak going deep. Maybe out of the end zone. It is. Dick Blaylock had good coverage on Mike Whitwell, and Mr. Kubiak got knocked backwards. So on 4th and 18. Field goal won't do him much good. Take a look at Mike Whitwell, Coach.
Well, it was a well-thrown ball. Blaylock just had excellent position and jumps high into the air to knock it away. Whitwell would have had to have interfered with Blaylock had he gone over his back after the ball, because Whitwell had maintained proper position.
Billy Cannon comes wide right. On 4th and 18, 3-man rush for SMU. Deep left side, David Scott, diving try, can't hang on. 4th down, Ponies take over. So SMU has held for the 2nd time on a 4th and long situation facing Texas A&M. 9:13 to go in the game. The Ponies in control. We'll be right back. Line of 14 for 132. Ian McElhenney in competition for the starting spots once Juan Meyer decided to replace Mike Ford, and McElhenney won the job. Fisher, a talented wishbone quarterback in high school. Here's the handoff. Goes to Edward O'Brien, who's come in, number 22, a sophomore. Edward O'Brien from Pasadena has rushed twice for 25 yards this year. There's Mike Fisher. He actually started this game against A&M a year ago, but suffered a shoulder separation and was replaced by Jim Bob Taylor. David Dykhuizen has also come in as a fullback. So liberal substitutions now for Ron Meyer. Fisher hands it off to Dykhuizen, and he surges forward. There's a scramble, and he's knocked down at the 39-yard line. Well, it has been a day of tremendous upsets. If you joined us just a little bit late, earlier today, undefeated Alabama knocked off by Mississippi State 6-3. Undefeated Baylor knocked off by San Jose State 30-22. She's happy. SMU is still on top, 27-0. But we're just in. The Texas Tech has handed the Longhorns their 2nd consecutive defeat, 24-20 out of Lubbock today. And SMU hopeful of going 6-2 here. 3rd down and 1. Alabama State falling to Mississippi. Alabama, rather. Mississippi State winning. Looks like SMU got the 1st down up here at the 41-yard line. Of course, Texas and Baylor still play each other. First down 10, SMU. Mitchell Bennett, who caught a touchdown pass, goes out. We've got 7:45 remaining in the game. Baylor at home against Arkansas next week. Mark Gibson is split wide to the left side. Here's the pitch out. O'Brien, he gets a block from Dykehusen and spins for a first down at the A&M 48-yard line. End zone replay, Coach.
O'Brien shows that he has a little bit of quickness, too. They have good running backs here. Dykehusen had a good kick-out block. And a very nice gain. Picked up first down.
They'll move the chains again. First down and 10. Jerry Bullitt started off. Now he stays on the field of play. High formation for Fisher. And now Dykehusen. 2 yards down to the 43. I know Ron Meyer, coach, was very, very concerned about this game, but they seem to have been well prepared. There's the final. San Jose State over Baylor, 30-22. First defeat of 1980 for the Baylor Bears. And they are at home against Arkansas next week. Key, though, is that they are still undefeated in Southwest Conference play. Second down and 7, 6:40 to go in the game. Fisher still has it. He's going to run. Mike Little has him and wraps him up at the 43. As Arliss James comes hurdling over both of them. The active linebacker of the Texas A&M Cadets.
He played off 2 blockers to get out there then. He'll sleep well tonight if he can get over the defeat, because he's going to be an exhausted young man. He's been roaming great distances.
College football 80 tomorrow. Alabama, Mississippi State, Notre Dame, Navy, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Missouri, Southern Cal, Michigan, Indiana. Check the local listings for the time of the program in your area. 5:52 to go in the game. 27-0. SMU leading Texas A&M. Aggies about to fall to 2-6 for the year. SMU about to win 6 games under Ron Meyer for the first time in his 5-year tenure here. We've got 5:38 remaining in a punting situation on 4th down. So Eric Kafis comes on, and the clock starts once again. Ponies still have Arkansas to play here before the year is out. Here's Kafis. That should be end zone bound. It is. So it'll come out to the 20, and the Aggies will get it back with 5:11 remaining. Texas A&M gets it back. We've got 5 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in the ball game. SMU in control with a 27-point lead. Well, we've got doubleheader action for you this afternoon. Georgia, South Carolina, and our A&M SMU game. We'll have the same next week. NCAA college football doubleheader live 11 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Mountain Time. And the decision on which games will be televised, of course, as usual, will be made Monday. So check the local listing for the games and the time in your area. Here's Kubiak to throw again. Maybe. Yep, he got it loose. Mike Whitwell diving try up with the 39 and couldn't get there. Ronnie James has come in at fullback for Texas A&M. Kubiak is now 4 out of 14 for 69 yards. Lance McElhenney, 3 of 10 for 29. Here come the Aggies. 2nd and 10, 5:06 remaining. Kubiak will run, and he's going to pay the price. He does at the 25-yard line. Gary Moten and Kevin Adams. Moten number 33 and Kevin Adams number 39. You didn't see SMU last week. You and I were working up in Kansas. How impressed are you by the Ponies?
Well, I'm very much impressed with them because
We've got doubleheader action for you this afternoon. Georgia, South Carolina, and our A&M SMU game. We'll have the same next week. NCAA college football doubleheader live 11 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Mountain Time. And the decision on which games will be televised, of course, as usual, will be made Monday. So check the local listing for the games and the time in your area. Here's Kubiak to throw again. Maybe. Yep, he got it loose. Mike Whitwell diving try up with the 39 and couldn't get there. Ronnie James has come in at fullback for Texas A&M. Kubiak is now 4 out of 14 for 69 yards. Lance McElhenney, 3 of 10 for 29. Here come the Aggies. Second and 10, 5:06 remaining. Kubiak will run, and he's going to pay the price. He does at the 25-yard line. Gary Moten and Kevin Adams. Moten number 33 and Kevin Adams number 39. You didn't see SMU last week. You and I were working up in Kansas. How impressed are you by the Ponies?
Well, I'm very much impressed with them because they have a solid ball game. They play all phases of it well. They played a good defensive ball game today. They had a little moderate movement. The offense did against them, but not enough to really matter. They've held them scoreless.
It'll be 3rd down and 5, Texas A&M. Ronnie James, the fullback, number 20. Kubiak drops back, gets a block, it's batted down. Big Victor Simon, a junior from Houston, knocked it down at the line of scrimmage. 4th down. Well, didn't take us a long time to select our Chevy most valuable players today. That decision was made by that man right there. John Simmons. If there's ever been a unanimous choice, he's it. All he did today was return a punt for a touchdown. He blocked a field goal. He's had a tremendous day, Coach.
I was going to say about their kicking game, they have such a strong kicking game simply because of John Simmons. He signaled fair catch there. He had enough cushion to return it, I thought.
We'll tell you who our selection is for Texas A&M when we return. Timeout has been called on the field as John Simmons trots over to the sideline. 27-0 SMU leads. Sometimes the life of a punter can be perilous, Darrell.
Well, he's in a dangerous spot right here. But David Hill, up back, blocked number 93 into the kicker. So that really is not a foul.
That was Russell Washington, the linebacker, and you could see him pleading innocence, and he was innocent. Here's Fisher handing it off. It goes to O'Brien. He gets nothing as Arliss James, number 72, makes the tackle. Edward O'Brien, sophomore from Pasadena, Texas. Johnny Hector with 131 yards today on 21 carries. And Darrell and I got together and selected him as our most valuable player for Texas A&M. Johnny Hector with 131, his season best. In his honor, a $1,000 scholarship will go to the General Scholarship Fund at Texas A&M, just as one goes in the name of John Simmons to SMU. 2nd down and 9. Handoff left side. O'Brien again. Well, it would seem that Messrs. James and Dickerson have completed their workday for the day. And it was very productive with 3:28 remaining. Craig James with 89 yards on 18 carries, and Eric Dickerson 72 yards on 13 carries. So between the two of them, 161 yards out of the tailback spot. There's Johnny Hector for the day, 131 for 21 carries. Average of better than 6 yards per carry. SMU has a 3rd down and 7 now with a 27-0 lead. They've got the ball at the 33-yard line. Reverse, Mitchell Bennett. He's got nobody in white jerseys. Now he's at the 50. There's also a flag down back at the 32-yard line. A 27-yard gain, but check the infraction. Illegal block. Illegal use of the hands again. So wipe out the 27-yarder. But it was nice enough to deserve a replay.
Bennett was over there all alone. There's no question about that. He was around, had a good wall set up behind him, and if the wall could have picked up quicker, he could have gone much greater distance and had a bigger disappointment because it's going to be called back anyway.
See that big number 63 who was out there, Steve Stanley, the backup tackle. Interesting story on him. The 2nd week in a row, you and I, here's the call.
Illegal use of hands. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Stanilat is another 24-year-old youngster from Oxnard, California, number 63. He pitched in the St. Louis Cardinals minor league system for 3 years and struck out Richie Zisk on 3 pitches. Tore a rotator cuff, and that ended his career, so he went back to Ventura Junior College and then transferred to SMU. 6'5", 275. 3rd down. There's the handoff to O'Brien, and he's caught and dropped. It'll be 4th down, and Eric Capus will come on to punt. Stanilat's father also played Major League Baseball years ago. Well, 4th down, 2:19 remaining. And many in the crowd here have gone to their cars and started home. David Scott will return the punt. And Eric Capus will kick it. Capus kicks a 41, 48, 44, and 35 today.
a sailor all the way back to the 19-yard line. Scott coming to the right side will go out of bounds. He is hauled down by Jared Moore, number 90. That's a 54-yard kick. And it was in the air for 4.4 seconds.
SMU's kicking game is great, but didn't Hunt and Simmons have a starring role in the kicking game today? It's unbelievable how it was either one or the other.
Byron Hunt, John Simmons, they kind of went together, didn't they?
Go together like a horse and carriage.
Get Willie to write a song about it.
I think somebody did.
Here's Kubiak going left side. It's caught by Billy Cannon, his first catch of the day. First down at the 42. 16-yard gain. There's a youngster whose dad won the Heisman. One of the most celebrated football players in the 50s at LSU.
He was open. It's a good throw by Kubiak. He has a nice delivery. He doesn't wind up to throw the ball. He takes it right off of his shoulder. Delivered that one in there nicely. And Cannon had a jumping catch. Nice catch.
First down and 10. Across the middle goes Kubiak to his tight end. The catch is made by Mark Lewis, a freshman out of Houston Cashmere, for a 12-yard gain. There's Lewis, and that's his 4th catch of the year. First of this afternoon. Kubiak now 6 of 17. They go quickly without a huddle. 1:35 remaining in the game. The ball flies backwards and is called dead.
Boy, that thing shot out of there like a pumpkin seed. Kubiak just removed his hands just as the center snapped the ball, and that thing must have gone 20 or 30 yards up in the air.
Here's the penalty that he stepped off against SMU, and we'll get the call from Ken Faulkner.
Illegal procedure. Defense. First down.
First down and 5 with 1:31 remaining in the game. 27-0. Next week, SMU travels to Houston to take on Rice. Rice playing up at Arkansas this weekend. Here's Kubiak, ducks under the pressure, but then is caught and sacked back to the 44-yard line by Kevin Chaney, a sophomore defensive tackle. And then the Ponies have to go out to Lubbock to face Texas Tech, so they've got 2 road games before they wind up the regular season here against Arkansas. Into the flat it goes. It's caught by Mark Lewis again, his 2nd catch of the day. Again, the no-huddle offense of the Aggies. 50 seconds to go in the ball game. 27-0. First win for Ron Meyer since he came here over Texas A&M. Across the middle it goes. Coming to the right side, Ernest Jackson. He's got a first down at the 33. The clock will stop while they move the chain. Kubiak, 8 of 19 for 108 yards. And timeout has been called by Texas A&M. Aggie band, Gary Kubiak talking with Tom Wilson. Got to really feel for Tom, Coach.
I bet he is sick and tired of waking up sick and tired. I could imagine how that would feel.
Kubiak with Tom Wilson, the Aggie band in the background. 36-year-old former all-conference quarterback at Texas Tech back in 64 and 65. Took over when Emory Bellard suddenly resigned in the middle of the 1978 season. Had a 6-5 record last year with the ball club, but they are about to fall to 2-6. They'll not go to 500 this year. In the meantime, you've got to be elated for Ron Meyer, who excited everybody here the first couple of years, despite the fact that they never were a 500 ball club. But he beat Arkansas his first year, almost beat you at Texas, didn't he?
I guarantee you they go for a 2-point conversion. They don't make it, and we win by 1 point. They had us nailed.
Here's Kubiak back to throw. Across the middle deep, incomplete. Over the head of Mark Lewis, the tight end. 6'3", 218. That was a 13-12 game or something like that?
13-12. And I thought they deserved to win. They missed 2 or 3 field goals from in close. They played with tremendous spirit. really did. And you could tell that Ron Meyer was going to surface sooner or later. You know, you can't keep a cork underwater, and some folks have it and some don't. Ron Myers happened to have it.
Kubiak, Whitwell in the end zone, up for grabs, tipped away, incomplete at the 1-yard line. That was Reggie Phillips, a freshman cornerback, number 5, who was down there, and the clock stops with 21 seconds to go. Kubiak dropping back and going for Whitwell, one-on-one coverage on the right side.
This thing might have been able to get in there. Looked very close to me as the ball was thrown. It hit the receiver, but he was, you know, they had arms all tangled up in there. Whitwell really didn't have much of a chance to catch the ball.
3rd down and 10, Texas A&M at the SMU 35. Kubiak with time, goes in the right side. It is almost picked off by Phillips. It slipped right through his hands. That stops the clock with 16 seconds to go. Ron Meyer was a walk-on football player at Purdue. Served as a scout for the Dallas Cowboys for a couple of years and then became the head coach at the University of Nevada at Las Vegas, where he had a tremendous record. Came here 5 years ago. And his ball club about to be 6 wins and 2 defeats for the year. And those 2 defeats by a total of 6 points. Kubiak, he'll have to run it. It's going to hurt, and he's short of the first down at the 32. The ball will go over with 8 seconds to go in the game.
You know, Tom Wilson's a good football coach, too. He's had some most difficult problems this year. He's been decimated through injuries, and then he's had some disciplinary problems, which I admire him for handling properly. He handled them, as you stated earlier, decisively. He has stood by his choices, and he has some young players here, the freshmen and sophomores. I hope he has a chance to see them mature and come on for him.
8 seconds to go in the game. 1st down and 10, SMU. And this will be take the snap, fall down, and let's go get a shower time. Left side, Campbell. That'll be the final play of the ball game. And Ron Meyer, a very happy young man, as his ball club has defeated Texas A&M this afternoon 27-0. We'll be back with a final look here at Texas Stadium in Irving right after this.